Yow! What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the broadcast. We're getting ready to go here. I think the fam, the participants are still gathering. Shout out to our admin, OtterFamily, who's usually run things on site, but indeed we are off site tonight. Good old COVID-19 putting a stop to things temporarily, but OutragePDX does throws some pretty frequent, maybe like twice a month this month, StarCraft tournaments. I don't know, we might have gotten 4. I'm actually in 2v2, I am Diamond. In 1v1, I have not ranked. You can see I play either 2v2 or I play customs versus my friend. And my friend has gotten Diamond random last season. And I got second place in the New Year's Eve StarCraft tournament. So I'm not too shabby. I'm essentially Diamond. Although this season we are plat. There's the big old Diamond. Diamond 3 last season. So, no worries, Stompy. I mean, that's the joy of StarCraft. I've been grinding for a while, and I don't really play a whole lot of ranked. You can see I got I got 9 games played. And I get sort of hyped out by the cheese, or just like super adrenalined up by the cheese. And last time, actually, when I went to Outrage and played in the StarCraft tournament, which I haven't been back, unfortunately, but that time my roommate maybe did not as good of a job as I did of like dealing with the stress, playing in an odd place, odd circumstances. I have maybe a little bit more, this is my buddy, by the way, a little bit more. I shouldn't necessarily put him on blast, but we're going to put him on blast. I have a little bit more awareness with that. He was a little bit shook. I don't think that the guy that I was playing was necessarily, shook, but we were doing best of ones at double elim. And StarCraft's a rough game, I just caught him at a good time. Caught his transition in tech, backed up, and then like re-teched myself. I play Zerg primarily. I'm like probably not platinum on my other races. Probably like gold on my other races, but I'm definitely a high plat pushing diamond on Zerg. But yeah, we're just chilling for now, waiting for final word, and I think just waiting a few more people to get in here, I know what we can do while we wait, though. And I'll keep an eye on Discord, and I'll keep an eye on I'll keep an eye on Discord, OtterFamily. I'll keep an eye on game, but let me know when we're ready to pop off. But right now, I'm gonna go live into a little old school game. A game that was played. I should have looked at the dates on it. It was played at least a week ago. Probably closer to 2 weeks ago now. And this is Pastry, aka Baby Yoda, I think. I think he's got a different name in the Discord, the Outrage Discord. I don't think this is OtterFamily's brother. There's a set of brothers around. But anyways, he is a high level Zerg. And this is a ladder match that he shared in the Discord. And I was meaning to cast it. Now we're live. We're live, actually. Let me kill this music. Oh, we're gonna kill that video. That voice. There, that video. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Unless I do it like... No, that's just not gonna work. Alright. I don't know. Shit. That'll work. So we do this. The small eXtine, yes, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful. I should drop my Twitter on there as well. Anyway, woo! Just lost a slipper, and I'm changing my fog of war. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is a little warm-up game for myself, the cameraman here, as we're getting ready to go with this OutragePDX tournament. OutragePDX is a Portland-based esports bar, and they throw some StarCraft tournaments pretty frequently, and I've attended, competed. It's a lot of fun. Today I am not competing. I am your caster tonight. Oh, that's not the one. What is it? That one? No. There's some button in here that... oh, there's the spinny pastry. And the lavender. And then Loki in the red. Tagged up as T-Sop. Oh, we're still doing wacky things with camera work. I'm sorry, we're just getting... oh, okay, that's my production tab. There we go. D is what I want. Oh, gotta zoom in. Zoom out. No. Zoom in. Zoom out. No. See, zoom out? Oh, it's just a toggle. Okay. Wah wah. Alright, well, we're having fun, ladies and gentlemen. We're learning things. We're getting ready to go here on the camera work. Feel free to critique in chat. But again, this game is just getting rolling, so we're not really missing out on anything. 2020, the supplies are even. Spawning pool pastries is actually... looks like his was rolling just a little bit earlier. And his hatch was just a little bit earlier. I have to turn up game sounds here. Game sounds are pretty low. My sound bounce overall is just terrible. Oh no, this is good. This is why we practice, ladies and gentlemen. I was using a Steam Link, and my Steam Link is weird. So basically, like the Steam Link. When you have it plugged in and then you like stop using it and then you like crash it or whatever, then it can sometimes like fuck with the sound, and so that's like why I didn't have any game sound. Why am I trying to like fucking launch it through Steam? Okay, cool. And we got an updated bracket. I'll maybe just drop that link in chat so that you guys can check it out, because I am not properly prepared to demonstrate that on screen. Sorry, I was playing some Dota and then I made some delicious tacos. The delicious tacos probably is what dragged on and why I was a little bit late. But hopefully as we start our game back up here, we actually get audio. Let's hop into that, where's that fucking Discord? Oh, PSC. Okay. We're gonna hop in here real quick. Yow. What's going on, guys? Garrett, whoa. Sorry, my sound is like crazy loud right now. Okay. Garrett's gonna play somebody? Nice. Oh, okay, no worries. Well, in that case, if they're ready to go, I'll just dip out of here, but I'll make sure that I can get in this game. So, alright, I'll check in later. Cheers. I didn't actually add. What's up, Retro? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I don't have a delay rolling, but nobody's gonna be pulling shenanigans. They'll get beat up on land, anyways. A relevant reference. 1 second. I got a lot of friends of mine now. Be like, yo, bro, are you watching this? Because we about to throw down, bro. Tell your friends. Tell your kids. Tell your wife. Streaming StarCraft up in here. The StarCraft does? Yeah. Huh. Okay. I can hear hella StarCraft in my ear. That's why it's like, bro. Oh, maybe there we go. Oh, okay. Okay, I can crank my audio a little bit. That's good to know. Thank you, Retro. Sometimes people like don't speak up, and you're like, you know, that actually would have been helpful to know that my microphone sounds like shit. You know, I like the whole thing's not working. We're also actually the other. My mic in my mouth, but I can't get it close enough because the arm's a little. Then we went out. Shit. Okay, are we good? We Gucci. Yow. Because you know we're gonna be. You know we're gonna be peeking. We gonna be peeking. Okay. Yeah. Gotta check the rules, you know, fam. You know how we do. Oh, I dropped the link to the bracket earlier, Retro, if you were here. But we just have 5 players. These are pretty usual players. Do we have Christine in the bracket, though? He might be, I saw him in the chat. Oh, give me that observer. How do I, we got ZVZ coming up here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, show. What's up, foreigner? How's it going? How's things in Bama? Is Bama like just business as usual, or is Bama on quarantine? This Portland's pretty locked down. I think we might get more locked down on Monday. But we're about to go live here. Oh shit! What's up, big foreigner? That makes sense. I was wondering where you at, man. Where you been and how you doing? My friend's talking about making some spritzers, some hard spritz. We'll have to chat about that, dude, and catch up. Hit me on the Discords. But it's like business time coming up here in a second. It's supposed to be business time. Nightshade. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Let me solve that a little bit. Once we get in there, like I was messing with that game audio, and we should be better. I just turned it down some. If it's too quiet, let me know. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in the top left, we got OtterFamily representing. I believe that's Team Gosu Academy, and then in the bottom left, it's gonna be Garrett. Whoa, spicy. I don't know who that is. Okay, so Zerg versus Zerg. Nightshade pretty straight up. You got a base over here, and then you got a third over here. So if they attack the third, you got a rock. You got a base path over here that is kind of wide. Question here, this is where we're going to start into getting maybe a deviance, but no, looks like the 2 players are the same. Oh, he's going for a 16 pool, and he's putting his hatch down already. So OtterFamily tends to do this, and this is going to mean that he might be going in some early banelings. This is something that I picked up from him. I've utilized this pressure against my friend Orthodoxosis. OtterFamily used it against me. And my analysis in this, when I had the opportunity to play a best of 3 that then turned into a double best of 3 against this dude, as his... okay, so his hatch goes down actually after he saturated the gas, which is interesting. So indeed, that is pretty like late in some terms, second hatch, because he's going to have his up at about the same time that he has his queen and spawning pool. Spawning pool is what I was going to say. But the early banelings can pay a lot of dividends. I wasn't following this build exactly. I was doing it just a little bit differently. But it looks like he's already got 6 Zerglings going out, and Zerg speed going, and then once he hits that gas, he also does the dodge on the Overlord, so it gets the Zerglings past it. He'll see the later hatchery and be a little bit nervous, and OtterFam just getting the scout here. So right now that's actually looking very solid for OtterFamily, but you can see he's behind in workers a little bit. The supply making a big difference. We do have 4 Zerglings coming out, and the Baneling nest is down. And Zergling early game is all about a little bit of micro and how these small engagements worked out. He's already lost 1 Zergling. If he turns, he can kill that other one real easily. He's going to go for picking off the drone here right now. Try to recruit some of that economic difference. Those drones pop out. Queen pops out. Queen over here as well. So up against 5 Zerglings, it's not too difficult here. Queen positioned on the other side and needs to micro that over. Could micro this over to the bottom of the ramp. And the thing is, okay, so he's probably going to back up here and then start turning some of these into banelings. And then also look at the stream of Zerglings coming in here still. So he's still got quite a bit of pressure coming in across the map here. Zerglings turning into banelings. First wave of those are almost done. He's got a couple more in the back. If you can just get that swarm of Zerglings with that, also maybe just get those up the ramp to deal with the other drones. He's pressuring over here, but there's really not too many drones over here. This is really tough anyways, though. The Baneling nest is just building right now, but it's, you know, you need spines, you need maybe more queens. He's getting 1 more queen out. He's getting burrow, which is desperate, so I think that's probably a micro mistake, or a macro mistake maybe is a better term for it. A couple more banelings out here, and this is where he's really going to start to invade with the banelings. And if you do some serious damage to the economy, which is highly likely here, as banelings rolling around the corner here. Queen about to drop here as well. Otter playing super strong here. Nice delta split on these drones here to minimize the damage. He doesn't lose too many there, 17-6. And that OtterFamily, though, is still surging workers over. Sorry, 17 workers, 16 workers, 5 army was what I was like trying to get out there with the 17-6. He's going to pick up the Baneling nest here. And if there was a Roach Warren, then that wouldn't necessarily be critical here. 2 Banelings out. And, oh, that was a nice exchange there for sure. He's going to have to get these out. Still a fair amount of Zerglings out. More Banelings coming out. I was trying to check to see if the other Queen was there. He gets caught. Queen alone. Pressure on the hatchery there. Queen's coming out at the natural. These Banelings are finishing, but this natural expo is going to get sniped. He sees the Banelings as well. So panic there. Oh, the hatchery is still up. Super weak, though, and the Zergling's coming in to try to finish it off here. He does get 1 Baneling tied in close as these spawnlings, whatever they're called, come out here. And I just want to check his saturation. He's got about 15 drones working the patch, 14 over here. But really the thing is once you lose that hatchery, you lose all of those larvae. He was able to keep his Baneling nest up now, but just to have to spend the minerals to throw down another hatch is brutal. And you can see this mid-map engagement. Actually, this works out pretty well for Garrett here, I think. As he gets like 8 kills there. And the Zergling's kind of weak. But again, you know, it's like you don't, you know, he hasn't put down another nest here. And at this point, Otter's probably going to be able to like easily build enough army to deal with this, while still having the other hatchery. Like these over there really don't do a whole lot for him. It's a little sneaky though. It's going to be obnoxious. But I think it's, yeah, he's trading individually over there. I think OtterFamily will, hopefully he sees those and has some spawning Zerglings to deal with it. Okay, he doesn't. At the same time here, this hatchery is going to go down. It's going to have to be canceled. The Baneling nest gets canceled. And since he's got a couple of, you know, these, it's like okay, that's cool, that's clever, that's cute, but, you know, he's not going to get enough from it. As these Banelings staying alive here, Garrett game is slipping away from him. OtterFamily firmly in control here. I think he did lose some workers there, so he is down to 14 here. Ooh, this is pretty nice here from Garrett. As long as he keeps the queen up, the way that this spread is working out, it is pretty good for him. Has to watch out for these other Banelings coming in here, especially on his queen here. Doing a great job so far. Queen is still pretty weak here and does go down. Zerglings coming through here. But at the same time, the drones aren't necessarily there for OtterFamily. You have to wonder if Garrett can manage to turn this around, but without a Baneling nest, well, he's about to get it here. And he does have a little bit of gas. Hasn't used any of his actual Evo chambers, though. So he's had those down for quite a while, but hasn't done like a +1 melee. Yeah, what's up, Pains here? Thanks for joining me. I don't stream. Oh, whoops. I don't stream StarCraft all that often, but change the colors. Okay, there we go. But I do love me some StarCraft. Sorry, I'm like weirded out by the fog of war at the moment and why it changed the colors over here of the player into green and red instead of yellow and red, but there we go. But then that's a team. Gosh. No. Is it 4? No. Wow. Okay. Anyways. Yeah, Garrett has just been hanging in here.
Mineral field depleted.
Why can I not select both viewpoints right now? Let's go broken. So Garrett, yeah, still hanging on here, but Otter's just now like been like cranked out some drones and like, all right, you know, I see how this is working out, and he did spend a wave or two of larva on just drones. He's keeping a little bit of pressure here to see what Garrett is up to. But Garrett's going to be Gucci here. Yeah, what is going on with my nerd rage on this? Like, why I cannot select both FOVs. I don't want to hit F10, I know that. Still annoying. Something else I hit. There we go. E? Okay, I guess it was E. Third base being attacked by Garrett, so that's a nice pick off there. Nice little harass. I don't know if he's going to be able to completely get it, but he's getting good exchanges with the servants here. Good attacks. He is staying in this game, managing to stay in it. Look at this Baneling swarm over here. It's actually not that strong. Quite a few Zerglings over here, and if you can get some good exchanges. The thing is that right now, the worker count is heavily in the favor of OtterFam. Garrett definitely needs to get in there and try to harass that base. He's going to see some of these Zerglings running across. He doesn't see that army, and he himself only has 2 Banelings here. There's a little bit of harass going up front as he is trying to snipe a Overlord, which would be helpful. Oh, nice. Let the base finish. Has 2 Banelings. Oh, look at that Baneling connection. And he doesn't finish the base, but he is just staying in this game as he's running those Zerglings around. Oh, that was unfortunate. But look at this swarm that he just built out here. He's smelling blood in the water. There are some roaches out here. I don't know if he's got enough Zerglings, but the thing is, if he just runs away from the roaches and switches into the other base, he also might just... Okay, he's going to go... I don't know, he's going for a surround. At the same time, he might just need to go for a snipe on the base. Now he's going for the snipe. He does get it. Okay, so that's good. And OtterFamily out of supply for a second here. I'm not sure if a roach den has gone down yet. That is the next. Looks like there it is, Roach Warren. That is the next step of for progress. Let me know if it's just my mic or if it seems like my if my stream itself is lagging, getting kind of robot-y. Yeah, he's Garrett's gonna be in serious trouble now. Basically, his eco lead that OtterFam has built up. Look at that in terms of roaches. You could just be killing these overlords here too. They generally do take 4 shots with the Ravagers, but it'd be easy money. And supply block Garrett here. He's just gonna eat a bunch of this. And 3 queens coming in here. They don't quite have enough energy though to give themselves back up. They're gonna go down here. Now 3 vials coming in on that spine crawler. It's gonna go down. Forming some more Ravagers here. He's also gonna realize at some point there is no 3rd base. Garrett really doesn't have a whole lot to contend with here. 37 out of versus 104 supply. And this is desperation here, and this is where you realize it's just like, oh man, I have to GG out. There's nothing that he can do about it. He has to. There we go. Lol. GG. Let's check out that score screen. Garrett doing a good job of trying to hang in there. And I think that actually, you know, if he had dropped a Roach Warren earlier and then been able to, you know, get some roaches on the field, he could have maybe hung out in there a bit. But you can see right there at that 7:30 minute mark that he just, you know, he had the larva, he had the money, and he didn't have the pressure, because at that point you can see that Garrett still has to catch up on the army. And then they hung even, but right at this point, Otter basically stopped building, you know, additional army, or he was just building like a dribble army and staying even. But he just was also like drones, and then just got like way more money, and then that enabled him to actually like right here just be like boom roaches. And this is where Garrett, like if he had like a Roach Warren going down here, killed the hatchery, and then like backed up, and then had a Roach Warren gone, he would have had a decent chance of like maybe hanging or maybe getting a decent trade there or something. But unfortunate. Good first game to start us off. I don't know if you can hear my... No, we get you. I'm gonna turn on that. Okay, cool. Get some background music on, but we'll just be chilling here. And drop any questions you guys got in chat. If you got any StarCraft questions, you guys want to discuss that match. Nice. I think we're doing Pastry versus OtterFam coming up here. And then Garrett's gonna get a bye. And play the loser of 2. Okay, yeah. He plays the loser of the other match. Oh, we are? Okay, cool. Sounds like we're gonna do... So it sounds like that other match that I thought we might switch to and cover was actually getting played simultaneously. This chair is hella well worn, and I need to spend money on this chair, on a new chair. But that's also like one of those things where, you know, maybe in the current circumstances, I'm like, do I really need to drop money on a chair right now? Is that really the best thing to do? We got that yellow glow now coming in. Maybe I'll put that light too close. But at the same time, I am going to be sitting on my chair quite a bit coming up. So, you know, maybe that's not a bad thing to spend money on. So, you know, we'll see. I'm about to, I basically been taking the last week off work, but we're about to get back to it on Monday. I'll DM you my PayPal link if you want to chip in, Painsayer. You know my Discord, so just give me a nudge. I'll connect you with the details. And I'll promise to set that aside and think about that when I contemplate buying a new chair. The question is whether I get a Secret Labs Dota 2 chair, or whether I just buy like an entry level gamer chair, which would be like I shouldn't name the brand, but you know, not a top level brand. Let's say that, you know, when I'm like naming what I think is a knockoff, you know. Yeah, those are basically the ones I'm talking about. Base Chad, you know, something kind of like that. That was. Yeah, this one, actually like sort of feeling in my legs that like I feel like it's so well worn and it's kind of maybe, it's like so well worn. So well worn that it's like, yeah, kind of cutting off my legs a little bit. So that's not cool. The other thing is like sometimes I like, you know, go for that nap in the chair, in those gamer chairs that you can like, those gamer chairs that you can lean back. Dude, lean back. Those ones are hella comfy for chilling and taking a nap. When I was in Shanghai, cooking for Team Liquid. Or no? Oh, okay. Lost my train of thought a little bit. Oh yeah, in Shanghai though, chilling in. Maybe you thought it was well. But was chilling and basically like getting up in the morning, you know, taking a shower. Actually, no, I was showering at night. I'm sorry, too many details already. Getting my breakfast, walking over to the gamer house, you know, maybe cleaning up just like real quick, and then you know, if anybody was up, cooking them breakfast, and then like the dribble of breakfast service and cleaning up, and then like doing my lunch service, and then cleaning up after lunch, and then the guys would be in their like second set of scrims, and then I'd be like chilling in a gamer chair. I'm just like, oh man, dude, like Dota, watching Dota, like a little tired. I'm just like, I'm out.
I gotta hydrate.
I hope you guys are hydrating. Hope you guys, everybody watching, is taking care of themselves. Oh, he's here. Okay. I was confused over who was actually in this lobby for a second. Okay, let me get back to StarCraft. Mute the monster cat for a little bit. Thanks for joining us. We're getting a bigger crowd on YouTube. We got 7 people here. We had a bigger crowd on Twitch a second ago, but we did get a new follow or 2. And we're got some more games ahead of us, so keep chilling. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. This is the second game of our first match of this OutragePDX StarCraft tournament for March 21st, March 21st, 321, 321. And in the top left, it's going to be Garrett. And playing Zerg as well. In the bottom right, going to be OtterFamily. So, hyped about this matchup. OtterFamily is a baller. Has been doing this Bane rush, Bane pressure. We'll see how Garrett adjusts to it. Basically, what I was going to say, I don't think I quite got it out in the early game last time. Looks like OtterFamily playing something else. Oh, he does the heart. Look at that. So this time he does the expand first. And then basically you... Oh, expanded off his 17. Basically, yeah, he's going to catch up over with his pool. And I was like, huh. Okay, no, they are about the same time with a pool and whatnot. But we'll see. There's still the whole thing of, like, just dropping a Baneling's Nest instead of going Zerg speed first. Certainly a possibility. But with OtterFamily, like, if you know that he's going to do this Baneling rush, you know, you have 2 options. Do you beat him with a Baneling rush of yourself? Or do you actually, like, switch up the strategy and do you go for, you know, a different sort of counterplay? And in my case, I tried to, like, just do the Baneling strategy better, you know, and that didn't necessarily pan out. I think even the last game that we played against each other, he even, like, did it, you know, earlier than I was expecting, you know, which is, like, really shitty when you're like, okay, man, I got countered, like, 4 times in a row by the same strategy. And the 3rd time I should have been even more, or the 4th time I should have been even more ready for it. He does get the Zergling speed going already. Well, we don't have that quite over on Garrett's side yet. He's just a little bit behind on the gas. Hasn't queued it up quite. Okay, there he goes. I think that, you know, early roaches and, you know, putting some buildings down and then getting your queens, and just having a better defensive shape is really the answer. So he's going to send 1 Zerg out the front. He knows that there's not going to be another, you know, that there is another one at least around somewhere. Can find the early Zerglings here nice and early. And then trying to get a surround here, which is going to be able to do so. So just these early fights with Zerglings, you know, really kind of pay off huge dividends in the end. Garrett is the one with the early Baneling Nest. He puts it right up front, though, so, like, no confusion about it. Garrett should see that drone going to drop a 3rd, and he's going to put down a spine crawler. So he's definitely kind of spooked here, but you can see that OtterFamily really kind of only has this initial engagement of Zerglings, and actually isn't really backing this up with anything else. So still probably going to send these Lings in, maybe, you know, I mean, kind of why not? He has just 2 more coming over. He's going to split up. With those Banelings down, he's going to run 2 of them past. Leaves the other ones running in here. Going for that full scout. He's going to see no second gas. He doesn't see, like, a Roach Warren. So it's kind of like, it's kind of easy because you're like, okay, well, from OtterFamily's perspective, you're thinking, okay, well, he either Zergling rushes me right now, or I have a 3rd base advantage, and does he have Roach Warren? And then he has a Roach Warren advantage. So this is completely in the favor of OtterFamily. This is transitioning into a bit more traditional, straight up ZVZ. I like the front base from Garrett, and we're going to have the slow Ling. No, these guys have speeds, I believe. I just can't see with the skin of theirs. Yeah, they do have the Zergling speed. And good balance here by OtterFamily. As Garrett, trying to catch up with the third base. Double Evo going down. And doesn't have a Roach Warren in the back. It's going to be behind, though, on the Roach Warren. 5 Roaches in production here. If these Zerglings can, come out and make a little bit of early pressure, could get something for him. I wonder if he lets them run, those other ones run by. He's seen the Roaches out now. And he's actually getting very lightly pressured here. Able to deal with that. So Garrett's not in a bad situation. He is behind on workers. And really kind of the question is whether he can leverage, some of the positives that he has going for him, like a double Evo Bay. Let's check the gases as well. We have 3 gases rocking. And 2 gases, excuse me. Yeah, it's like not counting quite right. So, I mean, Garrett is at a disadvantage. And really this early Baneling play, the whole point of it is to just kind of get some early pressure and then win the Roach War. It's just easy Zerg. And this is where sometimes, my friend likes to play Zerg. I like to play Zerg. And this is where, my Zerg versus his Zerg, he just get kind of frustrated playing ZBZ because he's like, it's just the same game. Like, we just do this all the time. And, one of us just barely wins this atrocious Roach War. And honestly, he had gotten to the point recently where he's the one that's, winning this horrible Roach War. As we see 3 Ravagers, again, you need that 4th one to get the guaranteed kills. So OtterFamily, just has a slightly bigger army here. And there always is a little bit of a disadvantage of pushing into an army. They have their reinforcements right there, closely available. But at the same time, he did have a little bit of a lead there and continues to build a little bit more army here. But in terms of workers, Garrett has been able to catch up, and he does actually have double Evo here, where our evolution chamber over here, as far as I can tell, where's our upgrades? He just has the 1 going. Yeah, and he hasn't started a 2nd upgrade. So OtterFamily actually behind on upgrades right now. Does have the army count lead, but that's always the big question of how much will that +1 armor, how much stability will that really give you? Great Nidus here, but actually gets spotted quite early here, and he is going to end up expending some resources having to deal with this. I think it's whether OtterFamily can really make this split attack work. Garrett's standing and fighting here, and I think he can, thought he could maybe do okay this fight here. He needs to focus down a little bit, though, because there's 3 super weak Roaches there. He's getting a little bit of okay kills here. The question is whether the production's behind it. He does have 16 Roaches in the production tab. And that's attack 2 that started. If you can keep that up and kind of exchange in this fight decently, then he's still in a pretty good spot here. This exchange is pretty good here, and especially with these Zerglings coming in here, he's going to get some cleanup. There is pressure coming over from the side here, but I think as long as he can spot it somewhat soon here, and he has with a Baneling coming in, oh no, maybe that was auto attack. The drone's being pulled now. If these Zerglings actually get a surround, then this is actually not that great for OtterFamily. The drones need to get put back to work. Put those drones back to work. As the Nidus family trying to split the wickets again, trying to push Garrett, to his limits. And with those, okay, now those drones are getting put back to work, but look at those Zerglings just running in here. That's super obnoxious. And we'll see if the army goes all the way in to deal with that, or actually, goes across to deal with the Nidus network. I think he kind of split the army up, but he's got to be careful here with this Roach army coming in here. At the same time here, Garrett has a very nice army. And those level 2 upgrades aren't that far from finishing here, so as long as he can just keep delaying here, he's going to have a much better upgrade advantage. He's also started his level 2 upgrades. It does look, though, that the transition into Hydras is happening for OtterFamily, though. He is losing a fair amount of units here. You never want to get stuck in this situation with a roach trade going on. And OtterFamily, it seems like his focus is elsewhere. He's pushed to his limits here by Garrett. He knows he has a game advantage, and he's trying to push through with another Nidus network, but he's lost a ton of his roach army here. Enough that Garrett's going to be able to push that Nidus network down. He can't really be all that worried about this network, but he is going to need to keep an eye on it and protect his third base here. This turned into an excellent game for our third game here. Nidus network coming in a little bit earlier, a little bit closer here. It's actually a good one, though, to see that if it is spotted, and indeed it was. So he has spotted over here, but he hasn't said anything to deal with it. Now the roach is coming through from behind. There's an infestation pit that's crucial to hitting the third tier of Zerg technology. He's going to run back through the Nidus network and not really focus on these roaches here. Kind of just being obnoxious, but not really getting any damage done. That's a choke, though. If I have seen one. Ooh, and 2 more hatcheries coming down here. This is ambitious stuff, though, for OtterFamily, who has now found himself at... Oh, that's a creep that has died. I was like, that's weird. OtterFam now found himself at an army disadvantage. These Nidus worms are kind of keeping Garrett pinned in. But if Garrett can get up to Hive Tech soon, could pay dividends for him in a upgrade lead. But we do have Lurker Den coming out here, and I'm not sure if there's actually any Overseers out for Garrett. He's gotten some of his Overlord snipe, but if he could just fight with this, then, you know, it's like he could just get so much damage done with this army that he doesn't really have to worry about these Lurkers coming up. Lurkers as well are very gas expensive. And if you can't get good results with them, they don't pay off well. I'm looking around. He also, I believe, doesn't have the Overlord speed. Nidus network gonna go in again. This is just so distracting. You can tell he's just moving his whole army over there. He's not split his focus at all. And especially with just roaches, very slow to react to this. He doesn't have 1 macro hatch over here compared to the 3 over here by OtterFamily. Ooh, he actually over here, that just doesn't look right. There's 4 idle workers, maybe more, just chilling over here. So OtterFam, a little bit of miss micro over there. And he's taking this fight here, but he's up against a 120 army, sending in 80 here. There is the 1 lurker here, but now that we have the Overseer coming in here, he's just going to be able to push on top of it. And I think take it down and just win this fight against this army. He's sending in some nice files. That 1 lurker very low, trying to morph in 2 more here. His base under attack here. But a lot of these Nidus pressures have stopped. And he did kill the 1 lurker, or no, he didn't. The lurker scooched back a little bit. But this certainly is where you start to get into, like, okay, you know, if you can play around the lurkers, not quite have to deal with it, then, you know, you can end up pretty safe off, and you can end up wasting a lot of gas just messing around with lurkers. Oh, look at this army. He takes this engagement, and I think this is not going to be good for OtterFamily, as the wraparound's going to come in here, and all of these lurkers are just going to go down right away. They're not going to get much done. Look at these roaches just melting away. OtterFamily does have the worker count, but he can't support an army. GG is called. Garrett fights back. An excellent game there. Excellent game. Our first series being pushed to a BO3. And you can see that Garrett, yeah, was able to get the workers active rolling. Get his resources up. Get his upgrades rolling. And then just hang in there on the army and just trade blow for blow. Yeah. Super close. Gotta take a break. Take a breather. I want to see the chat blow up, though. Where the chat at? That game was hype. That game was hype. I'm gonna tweet about it. That's how hype it was. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Homie, it was too fast. Okay, so maybe I do have time to tweet this. He was ready for that game 3. Ready for that game 3.
Good luck, have fun, and beat him, probably.
Oh, no worries, Pants here. Yeah, and if you got any StarCraft questions, I'll try to answer. StarCraft's a lot of fun. I mean, and I think it's a great spectator esport, you know, particularly because, oh shit. Particularly because, like, you don't need to, okay, once this game starts, I'll start from the beginning. You don't need to know a shit ton about the game in order to be able to understand the matches and watch and enjoy. Certainly some aspects of like how good these players are really hard to see from the base level. I think there are some ways that I can turn on the player perspective. I don't know if it works as well as the Dota one does, but these guys are hustling. You can see their actions per minute. So right now, basically, as the game starts, these players are both Zerg. Well, we have a lot of Zergs in Portland. Likely, yeah, this is a BO3, and this is game 3, die to try it. In the bottom left, we got OtterFamily on the Zerg. And in the top left, we got Garrett. Okay, so the beginning of the game, this StarCraft 2 is different than some other RTSs. In StarCraft 2, you basically can and want to expand very, very early. The other races, all the races, like, there's a few fundamental differences between each race, as well as, you know, unit and army composition. The fundamental differences are like the Zerg, they're workers. You have to consume a worker to plant a building because they're these freaking weird alien insecty things. They also have a unique way where their main buildings puts out a larva, and then you turn that larva into whatever you want. But the benefit is, like, that can be a worker, but it also could be a high value unit. It could be a cheap army unit. It could be whatever you have the technology for. So for Zerglus, it's all about making sure you have the larva, making sure you have the income, and then making sure you have the units that you need at that time. When you're in a later game Zerg versus Zerg sort of situation, or any sort of versus any race, you, as the Zerg, you have the capability to switch your technology very, very quickly, because you just put the tech building down, and then when it comes to actually producing that unit, you can just make 30 of them. So you can have like one sort of building rolling, and then all of a sudden, like, instead of having air units, you go back to ground or something like that. Some of the other races that we'll see later, they have different ways that their workers work, that their supply works. Because in the case of Zergs, they have these floaty dudes, And these guys can get killed real easily because you have to put them on the map, you know. But you can also get some free early game vision from your floaty dudes and see what's going on. So OtterFamily has seen his overlords over here. He's seen that there's the 4 Zerglings. He, again, is going for early pressure. And as a Zergling, you can see in the worker count, he's 5 workers behind. So he has to get results from this early attack. StarCraft is very much like chess. And in chess, if you overextend yourself and you don't get results, or you make trades and you don't get results, it doesn't end well for you. And same thing in StarCraft, where you're like, you need to get results from early aggression. Otherwise, you end up behind and you lose. So Garrett here has got more workers, but he's vulnerable. He doesn't have a strong army to defend. He's bringing a second queen here. One thing is that the queens can use energy to inject larvae and create more larvae. Look at this. Perfect positioning. He's not very well exposed. The second queen might go down. Not the best focus fire, but he keeps one queen alive here. He does have the Zergling left as well. Also has a spine crawler back here. Might want to pull his queen back to there to defend. So he does lose both queens. Doesn't really have the money to spend except for on that one. Zerg are weird because he actually can pick this up and move it, and he might need to pull these drones. Okay, he's got a queen out here. Oh, 2 banelings, 2 banelings. Oh, they explode though, and he loses that baneling nest, so now he can't make banelings himself. And this is rough. So then right now though, the worker count is even. Garrett's building some units to become even on army, and is building a new baneling nest. But losing those queens is really rough there. We got people cheering for Otter in chat, and he's trying to grind this out again. Early aggression is his game. OtterFamily is his name. And gonna be dropping 5 banelings there. Poking with a few more Zerglings here to see what is up. And the question is whether he gets over-focused on just making Zerglings with all of his larvae. You can see in the production up here, he's still got 14 coming. And the question is whether Garrett, he doesn't really have any banelings made. And that, I guess that would be my concerning. Okay, he's making 4 now. And the question is whether these banelings do damage or not. And a 3rd queen, the 2 queens at the ramp. He's got a 4th queen, actually. So spending a lot of money on queens is very smart here. And that exchange, I think, was pretty decent for Garrett. Swarm of Zerglings coming in here. One baneling connecting, other one in here. Zerglings idle on the side here. Loses the 1st queen here. Again, army idle here from Garrett. He has some. That's why. Ooh, that is spicy. He hasn't really lost anything yet. That is real spicy. 3rd base is down here. But we got 4 banelings coming in from the corner here. Going right into OtterFamily's mid. Oh, no! OtterFamily down to 21 workers now. And oh, look at all of them. He's split. Very nice split. Does lose 3 more. Down to 20 workers here. Does have a 3rd base here. The question is whether Garrett, he doesn't have any army right now. He's not producing any army right now. He's waiting on larva there. He's got other larva coming. He's got another queen coming. I don't think he's really got tech. That spine is in an excellent position. He's going to be able to transfuse to heal his queen here. And he is probably going to be able to scout the 2nd. Or the 3rd, excuse me. As his bane's coming in, he ran some of the banelings into the base though. And the 1 bane isn't enough to kill the drones by itself. He's sending some over, but the drone, oh, where's it going? The baneling missed the Zerglings. Drones still scattered in here. Sending the queen over here and the baneling. Baneling doesn't connect very well. But these Zerglings will get dealt with here eventually. And again, Garrett has seen that 3rd base. So he's going to know, or at least be suspicious that, okay, well, I might be able to just send a bunch of things over and get a strong attack. He's got a lot of minerals though, and there we go. You see, okay, he's like, you have to gas up. OtterFamily keeping the pressure up, and he has that 3rd base. Bane exchange is going on. Oh, that one was great for Garrett though. These 2 banelings out here. Okay, 2 for 2. That was actually Probably what OtterFamily, I mean, obviously he would have loved to hit some drones with those 2 banelings, but 2 banelings for 2 banelings, that's not so bad. Better than just losing them to queens. And there's no drones over here. He does have the larva for this base, but, you know, that's certainly something that if you don't actually have the drones, I don't know if he saw that. I don't think he saw that. So he's got Zerglings out on the map, looking around. All of these juicy drones just came in here on the 3rd. And look at that Garrett. He might go for the snipe as these lings come in here. The engagement's pretty decent here. Garrett's going to go for a fight here. And he's getting actually some pretty decent kills here. The Zerglings are going to get cleaned up here. And Garrett has the lead on the roaches. He doesn't have enough gas here at the moment, and he doesn't have a 3rd. He needs to drop that and get that rolling, as well as I would take that other gas. But if he can back up the roaches that he has... he doesn't even have his Evo going. Another good exchange there, but Garrett needs to find a way to put this army to use. He has a window. I'm not sure what happened over there. He has a window of attack, but the longer that he lets that go on and have that 3rd just be present, the more behind that he's going to get here. He might even want to drop a 4th because he's floating hella minerals. If he drops a 4th but then focuses on still building some workers, and that way too, if one of these ends up getting canceled, then he could be okay. This base though, this game in our first match of the night, we have another game further in the bracket that's going on right now because the loser of this is going to have to play their elimination match. We might have to skip that and watch the winner's match. OtterFamily has now worked himself off that 3rd base. He's worked himself into a juicy supply lead. He's got the majority of his army on the side. This 3rd base has to finish and become productive for Garrett. The supply is getting closer. We have 5 Banes over here that actually could do a decent amount of damage, and this is a play right out of OtterFamily's book. He's going to lose a Overlord there, so actually, just in base supply-wise, Garrett has more potential. This push coming in here, Bane's getting right on top. Pretty good damage with those Banes. The Biles, though, are going the way of Garrett. Now these Banelings coming in as well. We're going to check back into that on a second. As OtterFamily distracted as these Banes coming in. Great hits. The 3rd base completely wiped out of workers. OtterFamily. His own tricks used against him. As, you know, I swear it was just a couple months ago that in at Outrage itself. Oh no, as he's potentially losing 2 Overlords here. But he was telling me you just, you know, 4 Banelings that are just queued up and are just pointed at a mineral line, and then you just stop paying attention to it. The potential for that to get work and to just be so demanding of your opponent's APM, and then you just look back over right when they're about to hit, and you can micro if them, you know, if need be at that point. 2-2 going down for the weapons, the upgrades. I don't know why I can't see the... Oh, there we go. Do I have to like click on a unit in order to actually get the upgrades? So OtterFamily doesn't have his next round of upgrades rolling, and we have level 2 weapons going. He doesn't have enough gas, but Garrett's gas income is surpassing OtterFamily's, and he clearly sees this. He's been sniping Overlords, but OtterFamily is just marching out on the map, so like this is all visible, and Garrett's just like, okay, you know, you can see right now. I mean, we have you know, complete information. We can see that Garrett needs to get his army count up. He's actually not even really producing right now. He's also going to see that these units don't have level 1 armor. So if he's playing real close attention, he's going to realize, okay, well, I can actually play some pretty even trades here. And if he pulls back and Biles again here, this could work better for Garrett than it would for OtterFamily here. As the Biles coming down here. Oh, so we also have thought we had maybe an attack going on over there or something. But this fight continuing on here, and there's actually a lot of damage from OtterFamily on this third base here. Garrett trying to stand tall with this fight here. Some of these units extremely banged up here. 19 roaches in production. This base getting banged up. We have a lot of Zerglings in the top left corner just waiting to maybe get a counterattack here. OtterFamily is fading here. 60 army supply here. And if Garrett just waits his time, bides his time just right with these Zerglings up here, if he hasn't forgotten about them, I wonder if we're going to see, oh, a Baneling drop here. Baneling's coming in from the other side here. The inject coming in here, but did he see the Overlord? No, he did not. One Baneling wasted on the Queen, though. That means this other Baneling not going to be able to make anything happen. And in the meantime, OtterFamily losing a bit more of this Roach army. And this is really kind of the crucial army here. We have a fourth base down and complete for Garrett. He is harvesting from it. OtterFamily is going to discover that. And he's going to go, oh, man. And then he flies his Overlord right into these Queens as well. So now he's going to have to produce one more Overlord to be on equal supply footing here. He doesn't have nearly the same level as Ravagers. And as the creeps come forward here, the creeps spread. You might see a fight here around this fourth base. The army actually a little bit out of position here. And OtterFamily is going to just jump on that Queen. Also jumping on this entire base. I think the rotation from Garrett, I don't know if it'll save it though. No, the stutter step shots from OtterFamily, too great. That's an unfortunate loss. He's just keeping a swarm up here. And just occasionally sending down Banelings. He might need to use those other ones to cancel that force. He now has some Hydra Tech out here, which again is kind of devastating potentially for OtterFamily. And look at this! Oh no, loses so many drones in that third base. Fourth base rebuilding here. And Garrett, he's seen this. And if he just lets it finish potentially. Oh, he's going to attack it. I was going to say, he lets it finish it and then attacks it. You get really good results there. The Zergling's indecisive. Trying to just do the run pass. He's going to get some out here to get some vision. So that's sort of not bad at all. He's going to see. Okay, he's still on layer tech. Let's see, has he made it to Hive yet? No, he has not made it to Hive. He does have the infestation pit. And this time he's saying, oh, I remember you used lurkers last game. Well, I got some lurkers for you, bud. So we don't have any Hydras out on the field for OtterFam. And I actually don't even see any Hydra tech. So this fight could be devastating for him. He's going to try to take these rocks, but it's easily spotted by Garrett here. OtterFam down 15 army supply up against Hydras. So he doesn't have the DPS in this fight. He's trying to push with Biles, but he's just pushing Garrett closer into him, and that's Garrett's totally fine with it. As he's going to win this fight, OtterFamily calling the GG. And yeah, just at the end there, that fight was going to be too much. OtterFamily very behind in tech, as Pastry pointing out 2-1 in that army with Hydras up against OtterFamily. It's just +1. Yeah. Great job by Garrett. Great harass with the Banelings. He wrecked the economy on that third base a few times. And you can see the upgrade spending the advantage there. Workers, though, very tight. But look at that dip. Look at that dip. Great Baneling bombs. Yeah. I know that feeling in ZVZ as OtterFamily. I kept taking what I thought were good exchanges, and they weren't. Yeah, it was a really good game. Really good game. me check the bracket and let me check the bracket. And I think that other game, Chester versus Prime Minds. Prime Minds in the chat here, so that game's probably wrapped up. Bracket's actually not updated yet. Garrett versus Pastry. Better watch out, Pastry. And Pastry is Zerg, so I think Garrett was maybe just teasing us a little bit with showing off some Terran, but I think that we're going to get another Zerg versus Zerg coming up here. Yeah, and you guys can see the chat for yourself. Not to be disrespectful, also insane. Oh, it looks like Prime Mind did win the 2-0 though. So he's going to move ahead towards the upper bracket finals. We'll have to roll down Garrett versus Pastry. And at the same time that we're playing that, I think we're going to be running Chester versus OtterFamily. So good luck to both of those players. Yeah, okay, Chester is Christine. Oof, wow. That game's also going to be quite good. Those guys had a pretty serious throwdown the month that I was at. Garrett versus Pastry, and then the winner of that will take on Prime Mind. So we definitely actually have a pretty good amount of games ahead of us. I'm going to take a little bit of break here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. We're over here for a second. I'll put on some music too. Close my monster cat. Oh, there we go. Give me a retweet as well over at X Television on the Twitters that I am live in Monster Cat. Yow. Sorry, I was muted, but you didn't miss anything. We're getting into Nightshade though. Yeah, Zerg versus Zerg. Pastry versus Garrett. I am ready to go. Let's rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. Retweet me on Twitter. Hit me with them tweets. At X Television, capital X Television. We're doing good on the Twitch right now. We're bleeding YouTube viewers. How lame is that? Boo. But we're about to pick up in intensity. Look at this Techno Zerg. That is Pastry in the top left. As the lavender. That is his color. Versus Garrett in the blood red. Not rocking any skins except for the fancy lady floating portrait. That is fancy. Good luck, have fun goes out, and we're early in this game, so nothing's happened yet. Yeah, what's up, Paints here? Yeah, Pastry on the Zerg. I believe he's been playing a lot of Zerg lately. This is only D2, but he's been pounding. I don't cheese, haha. As he sends out that early 16 drone for the early hatch. Yeah, the no cheese is that's a lie. You got to keep your friends honest. Hit them with some cheese every once in a while. Especially that's why playing random versus random is kind of fun, because for one, like, you don't know for an extended period of time if your friend has gotten something like crazy, and then, you know, if you end up like shit, I just got my weakest race, and then like you're like, I just don't care, you know, and you're just like, all right, I can't even play Terran, like I'm just gonna bunker rush them, you know, like that's where you can kind of get into some fun cheese, you know, just or some strats that are maybe a little unusual. Right now though, definitely Garrett kind of sticking to his same build. We'll have to see what Pastry can get done. Overlords kissing in the night. Excuse me. I got that cold brew burps. Again, a question I didn't necessarily spot it out both of the time, or you know, both of those games. But the question is whether Baneling Nest goes down, you know, before Zerg speeds get started. In the case of Pastry, he has not started Zergling speed yet. I guess neither player has. Pastry does have the 100 gas. There he goes. Garrett's got the 100 gas. And there he goes. So both of them are getting the Zergling speed. And both of them do have 6 Zerglings out on the table. But it does look like Pastry might be going for an early third expand. Which Garrett will see it in due time here with that Overlord. Which actually he's going to see that very quick. So he's going to know, okay, well, he's just going to go for a third expo. He does throw down the Baneling Nest, and maybe he gets a little bit more Zerglings going. His Baneling Nest just a little bit ahead, but yeah, again, seeing that so early, you're like, okay, well. And then Pastry also over here with an Overlord. What I like to do in this case is you got to figure, like, okay, well, if he's throwing down a third, then he's going to have an Overlord keeping eyes on my third. So in this case, I'm like, okay, well, I'll have a second queen, and then I'll, you know, move the queen over, kind of on the early side, and try to get that Overlord before I, well, either before I start that hatch or as I start that hatch. It's kind of an FU of, okay, I see you over there expanding. And I wouldn't necessarily say that this is cheese, but this is definitely early pressure. He's going to turn these two into Zerg or Banelings, which is right under the watchful eye of Pastry. So maybe a little bit of mind games there, but he does have a good Zergling swarm here. And I just don't think that Garrett's actually got enough. 2 Banelings here to hold is pretty decent, but he actually loses that exchange. You know, arguably. And right here, though, the one Zergling coming in, while these other Zerglings from Pastry trying to snipe here, 4 Banelings just doing oversight. Has to turn 2 of those into Banelings here. Has to try to get in here and fight. And as the Zerglings snipe the Zerglings, do have reinforcements coming in, and this fight does seem like a little bit late. Garrett doing a really good job of just making sure to just throw in a couple of Zerglings at a time, make sure that he's not losing a lot of Zerglings to the Banelings here. Now able to send 2 out here, does get a few more of the Zerglings. His building is mostly up. More Zerglings coming in here. And now this fight though, yeah, okay, Pastry could have maybe chosen to just try to snipe that. Would have lost those Zerglings in exchange. Decided he didn't want to take that. This Overlord being harassed by this Queen here. In the meantime, the Zergling fight in the middle of the map. Kind of going the way of Garrett. Garrett feels like he has to take a second. He actually just gets some more Overlords there. And neither player actually has drones on their third base. So even though Pastry was quite a bit earlier with it, he has other drones at his main. Does have a 10 worker advantage. Here's this Queen though out on the open territory. That's going to be an unfortunate loss. And if he can actually also get inefficient trades on that one little Baneling that's out there, which he does not, and that would have been nice. He still could send some Zerglings in there to mess with the situation. 2 Banelings up top there, and that might do a good job of just. I don't think he's going to find enough drones though, but he does find these these Zerglings, which aren't aware of how quick those are about to finish. So honestly, that was pretty efficient for Garrett. Pastry 10 seconds away from missile attacks level 1, so I haven't been keeping the closest eye on where the Roachmorn might be at for Garrett. Okay, he does have one ready. And he's going to see what the circumstances are. He's going to see as well that there's quite a few Banelings, and that amount of Banelings, 7 Banelings, that might end up being a bit of an overinvestment here as the time of the Zergling comes to an end. These Roaches rallied out, though. Just going to have to be careful about these early Roaches. If they can be out of position, and right now he's like, oh shit, I have Roaches rallied over here. And these ones over here, too. Yeah, he doesn't get anything done with those Banelings, and actually does discover this over here. So Garrett is in a pretty good position to deal with things. Look at that Overseer just ran through here. Does have to... Oh, okay, he completely dealt with that little run-by of Banelings. And Garrett pumping out 10 Roaches. Roach army from Pastry marching across. Garrett, though, certainly might be a surprise contestant in these games, though. But we also have level 2 weapons getting underway here for Pastry, where I believe that Garrett doesn't have any upgrade yet. So, I mean, depending on how that plays out, that could be devastating. Pastry with an army disadd, slightly smaller amount of army, but he does have the worker lead. And quickly making up for it. Going for Swarm Host. This is exciting. This is drink a cup of coffee. Exciting. Like, ooh, I better be ready for Swarm Host. Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. This is the upper bracket semifinals of this Outrage PDX. I'm not sure what to call it in terms of like it's bi-monthly or bi-weekly, frequent StarCraft tournaments. Normally they're giving away gift cards, you know, since they're closed because of COVID-19. I was telling my roommate about this tournament. I was like, you know, that'd be like pretty douchey of us to be like, hey, Outrage, like, where's the gift cards? So I don't think there's any prizes up for this tournament. You know, we've been appreciative. I say we, when I say we there, I mean like the Portland StarCraft community. We've been appreciative of their support, and you know, once they reopen, I don't think they're doing any to-go foods or anything. Once they reopen, urge everybody to support them. Look forward to supporting them myself. Swarmo's just going for the hatchery snipe, and there's nothing you can do. Oh no, it explodes. And this is really shitty for Garrett, because look at Pastry's macro. He's got a 4th base going. He's got 188 supply. He's got level 2 weapons. He's got more Nidus networks coming down here just to really make sure that he can get out here. He's got Roaches with speed running out here. And they're going to put some hurt on this fight. And then once these Swarm Hosts are ready to go with their Locusts as well, you know, the micro goes. Yeah, the Locusts are going to end up dropping here. That actually works out quite well for Garrett, although I say quite well because in the meantime, disaster strikes as, okay, well maybe not quite yet because he's still in serious trouble, but he does have that Expo for now. About to go down though. No, not quite yet. Not quite yet. But here comes the Swarm Host, and I mean, he just needs a few of those focus on the hatchery. This is already looking really rough for Garrett, though. Yeah, his supply has gotten doubled. And just huge mid-game by Pastry there. I think there was a section there where Garrett really could have, you know, coulda, shoulda. Oh, what? Oh, ouch. He feels out of his range. He feels out of his caliber, I think. Just like, oh. So yeah, we'll pop into the OtterFam game. Yeah, basically it looks like he just got started with probably what's their first game. So that could be their second game. Yeah, so unfortunately Garrett just kind of wants to pass, but that's okay. You know, I feel like he played well overall. You know, Pastry is a super strong player. I don't know if I can pull up his profile. Yeah, there we go. That's Masters 1. So, you know, I mean, it's one of those things as well that it's, I don't know, like jiu-jitsu or martial arts or something. Like when you first get into it and then you're just like, oh wow, this is cool, and then you're like Gold League and you're like, haha, like I can dunk on my friends, and then like there's some other people that like are in your gym that I'm like, you know, I've been here for a year, you know, and then you're just like, oh shit, I don't want to mess with that dude, you know. But then like those guys, you know, in the world of jiu-jitsu, like those guys that have been there for a year and are white belts, like they're still getting rolled by blue belts. But then blue belts are just like getting rolled by purple belts, and purple belts are getting rolled by brown belts, and you're just like, shit, man. You know, and it takes a while. It takes, you know, 2 years of hard training to get a blue belt, and it takes, you know, probably at least another 4 or something to get a purple. You know, maybe, I mean, if you're doing it super hard, you know, maybe another 2 years, you know, you get a purple. Or if you're doing a lot of competitions and clearly you're stomping on blues, you know, maybe a year and over 3 years to get a purple. But you know, to get up to Masters is crazy, and to get up to Diamond 2 is crazy, you know. So like, and if Garrett's like out of practice, like that's the other just like the huge thing about StarCraft is it's all about being, you know, in practice, super snappy, super sharp, having all your builds together. You know, so even if he's been Diamond 2 historically, which is super impressive, you know, if he's not up to speed, doesn't feel up to speed, that can be frustrating. And that's why sometimes in the past I didn't play a lot of StarCraft, because I was just like, I don't have time to like put in a lot of work on my builds. You know, I don't have time to do this. But now I play so much Dota 2 that like Dota 2 is like cross training. So like my APM is like sharp and on point. I don't know if Payne's here and still has more questions, because I'm like, APM is sort of StarCraft terminology. But you know, my game is just tight, you know, is on point, and I play more games against my friend, my roommate, you know, so I've always watched a lot of StarCraft as well, so I understand maybe what I should build, how I should do things, and even if I can't execute it myself, you know, I can be self-critical about my games and know how to improve. So StarCraft's a lot of fun. StarCraft's a lot of fun. Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Since we got a little bit of downtime, we'll add a little text bar here. And oh, actually, I got this one. Son of a bitch. Caster at X Television. Boom. Serious business. So you guys can follow me on Twitter. Talk about some StarCraft. Thanks for the follow on here, Darwin. I think Darwin's still chilling in here. And please as well, you know what I would really appreciate? I would actually really appreciate if you guys see any rad clips of some action. And if you think to yourself like, wow, eXtine did a pretty good job of casting that. That was pretty hype. I would appreciate if you clipped it because that would help me make a hype reel. I'll play some music. We're just chilling. Hit me up if you got any questions. Just want to shout out.
I'm a little emotional. Gotta be rational. Big monkey is optional. I'm in the phase of revolution. Is that the upper bracket finals? That was the upper bracket finals.
Shout out to my homie Fish Sticks running juke.gg. I'm like, how do I thought it was a way that I could add an event on the front page. I'm gonna try to work through it just real quick here by myself before I like holler at him. I need to find an Outrage logo real quick. Let's keep this chat popping, by the way. There's an OutragePDX logo. Does that work? Oh, come on, Chrome, don't film it now. Oh, yeah. It's not what I want. Sorry, I just realized that over on the YouTubes, Yow! What's up, Connie Kens? How you doing? Sorry, I'm doing some promo on the side. I saw you liking my tweet too, so that's why I was like, how it's Connie like my tweet? I'm doing good. I just also was on the side hollering at juke.gg and letting them know about this matchup that we have coming up here. Because you know. Yes, I do, OtterFamily. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't. Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, I just see you getting that in the chat.
But anyways, yeah, I hollered at my homie at juke.gg. Oh, okay, tight, Connie. But yeah, shout out to juke.gg. Those guys are cool for sure. And they're just like a esports calendar. Yeah, sorry, I'm still just like reading messages. They're like an esports calendar, so I was just like, you know what? Like, these guys are my homies. I was like, might as well just like submit an event real quick and see if they throw it on there. You know, been meaning to do it more with Team Fortress 2 stuff, but haven't. So StarCraft is hype, Connie. Are you familiar with it at all, or how much of a rundown you need? I'll start over from the beginning, but then you can cut me off. Basically, in StarCraft, you know, you have 3 races. Each race, like, they follow the same kind of general. Okay, doesn't know anything. Awesome. They follow the same kind of general, like, functions, like how the game works. Oh, I'm in a party. They function the same kind of way, generically, at the most base level. You have to follow supply, you have your army, you know, like the different kinds of army things, or like observers. A lot of the stuff is the same between the different races, but they also just kind of straight up fundamentally work differently, you know, from each other. And I believe we might be Zerg v Zerg again. And with the Zerg, they're this insect race. Basically, each race has a worker unit. You have a supply way that you do supply. Those are like kind of some of the main things. You have a way to like observe and detect invisible stuff. You have a way to. Oh, okay. Whoops. Oh. There's some, basically functional ways that it all works the same for everybody. Zerg, they're my favorite because like they just have a really interesting timing. What's so fun about StarCraft is like all 3 of these races, they play fundamentally different, and they, while they also are kind of fundamentally extremely similar, and it's also kind of just like a mindset, just like, I don't know, like what kind of player are you? And for me, like Zerg is, my brain clicks when I play Zerg. I'll show you once we get into it a little bit more. But yeah, like I play Zerg and I can kind of do Protoss, and Protoss like works for me and I can do okay on Protoss. But Terran, like the way that you have to multitask and function and handle your army, the different ways that basically your army has to flow, becomes difficult. For me, I can't handle Terran. Anyways, and the top right, we got Chester. I won't out his real name because, well, I guess it was outed in chat earlier. But anyways, OtterFamily in the yellow. Bad luck. Do not have fun. Wow. I'm not an admin or anything, so I won't comment on the sportsmanlike or non-sportsmanlike behavior of that. I think you should learn quickly, Connie, again, to get into basics. The Zerg, you have these larvae, and these larvae spit out occasionally from your hatchery, and you can turn it into a worker, or later, once you have the tech buildings, you can turn it into army. And that's like the fundamental dichotomy of a Zerg. Are you building workers, or are you building an army? And that's where sometimes a player like OtterFamily, OtterFiend is a TF2 player. Someone like OtterFamily, if he brings a lot of early aggression, he's maybe using too many of his larvae and not building enough drones at home. StarCraft's all about multitasking, doing a lot of things all at once. It's also a game about balance. You can't spend too much money on tech. You can't spend too much money on workers. You know, there's things that you have to do in order to like bring harmony to the army that you're bringing, as well as your economy. So it's a very interesting game. There's all sorts of small things that players do to get ahead or to sneak out edges. Right now, like some weirdness is they snuck off some drones over to gas early and then are refilling their drones over here. 16 out of 16 is like the efficient amount of workers that you want on minerals. But, you know, you can go higher. It just kind of burns out the minerals a little bit faster and it's not completely efficient. But, you know, as you build the gas, you also don't want to take too much gas, but then you shift workers in the gas. And right now as well, this is where we'll actually start to see like the divergence between the two players' builds, and this game will actually pick up. So I talked about as well, just to talk about it real quick, the different races and how they handle general game mechanics. And one is supply, and in the case of the Zergs, you have these overlords, and these are floating supply units. They provide supply, and that is how many army or worker units, you know, the combination of that you can have on the board at a time. So the Zergs can float them out in the fields of battle, and they can scout with them, but they're also vulnerable to getting killed. Right now, OtterFamily has simultaneously put down a third base to try to get that economic advantage and poked across the map with 4 Zerglings. This Overlord spotted out here by Chester, so Chester, you know, you can't really run that down with just the 1 queen once he's off creep. And the Zerglings might come in and try to, punish that, but he's going to tuck that back away. And over here, Chester as well, if you see the vision, Chester has not spotted that third base. He sees another wave of Zerglings coming in. He's got some Zerglings of his own to keep his queen safe. This gray bar up here as well, that's something that the queen can do, can inject larvae, and then you'll get even more. We'll sit and watch it. Boom. So now you get like 3 extra larvae. And that's super important to basically, like, you go through cycles of like injecting the larva, and then you deal with your army, and then you build more workers, and then you inject more larvae. Not really in that order, but look at this! OtterFamily is freaked out by this swarm of Zerglings. He's got a hold here, and look at this mess of Banelings. Chester knows how OtterFamily likes to roll, and he's going to be able to get the kill on the Spinecrawler that was going down there. Right now, Chester's still kind of just waddling in there very slowly, but these Banes are here, wasting some of them on the Queens. Now going up top here, he is losing a few of them, not in the most efficient fashion, but he is still doing a lot of damage over on these Queens. He's also sending in these Banelings. Look how much damage he's going to get done. Oh, OtterFamily down to just 18 workers. Building some Lings left, but he's also got a bunch of idle workers. Got 4 Banelings being made up here. He just calls the GG. In some ways, it seems like a little bit early, but like also if you look around, he's got Lings coming in here. He had a lot of Lings on the board, and sometimes, yeah, exactly. Sometimes the game goes quick, and yeah, Connie Kins, welcome to StarCraft. That was a quick one where, you know, in the early game, you know, you can just get punished real quick, and it can just be over like that. And OtterFamily, exactly, you know, you when you expand, you spend 300 minerals, and when you build, if you were to build with 300 minerals, if you were to spend that all on Zerglings, that's 6 times 50, and the Zerglings pop 2 Zerglings for 50 minerals. So that's 12 Zerglings. And if you push early on with 12 Zerglings and you turn those into Banes, you know, and then the Banelings explode and do incredible damage, then, you know, you can just win the game right there. So, yeah, no, and Connie Kids, I mean, we're just sort of joking about the BM, you know. I'm sure he was just joking as well with that. You know, that's sort of like, you know, in Team Fortress, to make the analogy, it would be like, I hope your rollout's shitty. You know, like, it's just like, you're not really talking trash, you know. But anyway, StarCraft's a lot of fun. StarCraft, I was talking about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu earlier. and StarCraft, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, chess, a lot of similarities, because also as you learn in StarCraft, you take a lot of L's, and that's why additionally sometimes people are pretty friendly and joke around, because they know sometimes you're winning and sometimes you're just losing. And there are comebacks in StarCraft, but like actions per minute APM 151 to 145, so these guys are just pumping. But you can see as well the resources going up, but he just didn't have the army and he couldn't survive and lost. So there's a lot of kind of either chess comparisons or I don't know, soccer, of like overextending. You overextend on offense, like you get punished for that. Like you just can't, maybe American football, where you just like expand too much. And this game is just so interesting in terms of the economic aspects and stuff. So OtterFamily knocked out. He is a strong player. He's won quite a few times, and just because of that, that's why it's kind of fun to see him knocked out. He's also the tournament organizer, so that's like, kind of fun to see him get knocked out, because you're like, come on, man, can't win the tournament that you organized. And we got Garrett versus Christine coming up next. And I dropped the challenge link. I keep losing it. Oh, no, there it is. Yeah, Pacer vs. Prime is going to be hype. Yeah, we sort of got to get caught up, so we're going to run the upper bracket, and then glad we got to get a game in with Christine. That's always a thing of like, you want to get everybody casted. Sorry, Arbin Gordon. It was rude of me to not respond. I saw your message. But I'm doing good, chilling, laying low. I'm kind of in, let's just say, recovery mode. Trying to get kind of my energy back and feeling, trying to feel 100%. And basically, I've been working out this last week. I've been doing pull-ups. I've been doing push-ups. And I would say basically, like, earlier this afternoon, I was, like, doing push-ups. And I was like, yeah, I want more. Like, really feeling that, like, energized feeling. Instead of just kind of being like, I'll do 5 push-ups. And that's like, good towards my build. That'll help me. I need to get momentum. I need to work up to it. But like really kind of towards the end of my, just kind of light home workout. I've been working out all day. Or just like small light workouts here and there. I really started kind of pumping. So I was like, all right, cool. And then I got tomorrow off as well. Probably still gonna have to do some house cleaning tomorrow, but I made some peanut butter cookies. My brother brought me necessary ingredients so I could make snickerdoodles. I probably do have to go out and do some shopping tomorrow, which we'll see how that goes. If I don't do shopping tomorrow, though, I also might just be able to set up some delivery, which would be cool. I need to get them snacks, I got standard food. I got that covered pretty good, but it's like it's the snacks I'm hurting on. Yeah, I'm in the States, Arbin Gordon, and I mean, basically, yeah, I'm about to get back to work on Monday. And then for the most part, I'm just going working home. Might be the routine for, a couple months. We'll see though. All right, cool. Sup, nerds? Dude, this match is gonna be hype. As we got, I need to plug my phone in. Make sure that it isn't dying on me here. Pastry versus Prime Mind. I am not work from home, but I have a pretty small work family. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, we're gonna get OtterFamily in here. Yo, Prime, mute up.
Yo, what's up?
I guess I was just gonna join OtterFamily in here where he's gonna help me cast, but you know we're casting your game. So.
Hey, what up?
Oh, awesome. I'll jump off here.
All right, cool. No worries. Thanks, bud. Good luck. Have fun. Don't hate hydrate.
Stay super hydrated, bro.
Yeah, it's important. It's important.
Bro, thanks for casting. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, it's my pleasure. I casted a little bit of StarCraft like super quick for some random organization.
Nice.
And it was fun, but it's also sort
Yeah.
of like that, like, oh yeah, they're at like that 15 viewer stage. And that might be where I'm at tonight, but it's just sort of that thing of like either you're taking a lot of time out of your work to do it, you know, and what's going on, or you just do it on your own channel, you know. So
Oh, for sure.
but it is fun to like have games set up, you know, right? Like someone's like,
Oh,
oh yeah,
yeah.
we're gonna cast some games, and we got some masters and some diamond people in here for a couple hours. So
Nice. Yeah, no, these games have been bangers though. It's been crazy.
Is Prime Zerg though, or?
He's a Terran player. He's a great Terran player.
Okay, so
Yeah,
good.
dude.
We get a little bit of variety. I was to say we've been Zerg all night. All my viewers are like, "How does StarCraft work?" And I'm like, "Well, the Zerg, you know."
Well, there's one race.
Yeah. Do we have the right? Oh, okay. Yeah, we do have the. Wait, what?
Oh yeah, wait, why is? Oh, we had too many people in the party.
Yeah. Somehow the parties merged. We ended up with 6.
There we go. This looks right.
Yeah, we got a couple new people in here though that are learning. So, oh,
Nice.
Protoss even, huh?
Oh, very nice.
Is that how he feels about his first Terran?
This is a flex. He's flexing. Pastry's he's a GM player at points, so he's real good. And his brother, he's a GM Zerg, just plays amazing.
Yeah. Wait, Nick's brother is Scrabble, as you said, right? Who's
Yeah,
GM,
exactly.
GM Zerg.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
a hell of a Zerg.
I wanna see him play sometime. I know that Pastry for sure though.
I've only played against him once, and he just has like such a control of mutas.
Yeah.
He loves playing like +1 Ling into muta. I've tried this style and I just can't master it.
His first game against Garrett was actually like not that bad for Garrett. Garrett sort of had a moment where he could have like gotten the game rolling, got some momentum going. Didn't quite attack in the right way, and then like all of a sudden Pastry had 4 bases saturated and 2 supply.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah. That's the thing is like that's like you know I can be pretty good in like kind of Ling fights, but that's where I fall apart is like at the same time I don't have like that overarching plan. Pastry always has a great idea of like how he's gonna play it.
yeah, that's really important, especially if you're gonna have some diversity in your races that you're bringing to the table. You can kind of be ready for a lot of different scenarios.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right now it's just kind of standard stuff going on, nothing too crazy, but gateway in the corner is kind of weird. I guess you just like to hide
Well,
it.
it's what that does is that blocks the Reaper as it tries to come up
you're
there.
right.
That yellow thing is a jump zone. So this is it's become kind of standard because it's like getting into the front of your base doesn't matter so much. By the point that Hellions could hit around like 5 minutes, then like you can probably wall off a different way and you probably have your natural. Whereas this really helps like limit the Reaper so he can't get a good scout.
Yeah, I like this map, but I guess I wasn't quite into that. When me and my buddy we play, we like this map because also my my organization, my group, the Portland Burnsiders. One of our longtime our TF2 players is Lacrum, so Simu Lacrum.
Nice. Oh, there you go. Simulacrum. Very nice.
Okay, looks like he's coming out to build that expo for the Terran side. He doesn't realize, I don't think, that he's got a probe lurking right in the side of that. So see if we have any shenanigans, but I guess we don't have a forge yet. We do have the bunker
Most
going down.
likely he's just gonna scout timings. He might use it to kind of mess with the CC a little bit. But Pastry, the way he seems to play most of the time, is he'll configure some really advanced, like some just perfect timing where, like, he ends up with just the max number of zealots in a you can have by like 5 minutes, and so that's probably likely what we're gonna see here.
He's got this pretty blue Reaper skin, but his bunker across the map had to get canceled, and he's lost 2 SCVs overall.
Yeah, this isn't a great start. I think he's kind of panicking a little bit, trying to do some fancy stuff like laying down that bunker. He canceled it so he gets his minerals back, but losing the SCV I mean, especially against someone like Pastry, you want to try and maintain as much of an edge for as long as possible.
Yeah. And really, StarCraft's always about the little things. The double Reaper coming in now up against this Adept. Adept is able to bang away and get the 1, so good little micro there. Also, shade to the side just to make sure he can't get any escape.
Yeah.
Will go down.
Oof.
Sees the Turbo Bay though.
Yeah, this is a little bit worrisome because the problem with like doing the double Reaper, if you can get the bunker down, then that's great. But a single Adept can actually handle 2 Reapers.
Yeah.
And then this delays the factory by a few seconds, which, well, actually by quite a bit because they're not mining a lot of gas at this point in the game.
Yeah, Tech
So it's a
Lab
bit of
on
an
it,
investment.
and Siege Tank gonna come out right away. Reactor on his 1 barracks right now. It's a little bit light in actual buildings as well as army, but the Siege Tank will give him a fair amount of stability. Looks like we might have a 3rd base potentially here from Pastry. At least sending a probe over there and getting a pylon down.
Yeah, getting it started. It's also just a useful thing where if you get hit right about, or like in a couple of minutes, then having that pylon there means you can warp in from behind. Which if you're going charge lots, which oh no, he's going blink. Okay, so he's gonna go. Yeah, but it helps because you can sort of warp in behind to nice surrounds when they're pressuring your natural.
I like the placement of this observer as well. Just putting it up top to say like, okay, well, if he sends any drops my way, I'll have some vision of it before it comes in. Definitely something that would be really undesirable to have happen.
Well, this is going to be a huge scout. Seeing the tech lab on the starport it's a ton of information. Because this means that he's probably going to try and go for Banshees.
Yep. Yeah, indeed.
Because we don't see the fusion core going down. Otherwise, that would mean that we're going to see battle cruisers pretty soon. But yeah, right now, just if we look at like income tab, Pastry is just banging out probes left and right, which is the right move at this point. Because I don't really see any huge timing attack coming up. I think he's going to try and get some Banshee pressure to be able to expand out to his 3rd.
Yeah, not much from Prime Mind yet.
Yeah, he's just trying to play safe. He doesn't want to like get hit by like a bunch of charged lot immortals or something like that. So the extra tank is a good idea. Bunker's a little bit conservative, but that's good. Oh, he almost caught out the observer there.
Yeah, I did hit it with the scan, but Pastry, kind of mindful of that, tucks it up and moves it real quick. See if he spots this other observer as well, but we'd have just out of vision.
Oh, yeah. If he catches sight of that Banshee, this is going to be a pain in the ass for Prime Mind.
He should have seen it already. Of course, yeah, sees it again clearly there with the observer getting picked off, but that's a nice little pick off for the Terran. Nice little army that he's got going on here as well. 36 supply in this army.
I like this push. Pastry's a little bit lean right now.
Yeah, this is going to be devastating. This is the lead SCV in his Banshee.
Oh, he's pulling SCVs.
Yeah.
He's super all in right now. But I think he should be able to deny the 3rd.
Yeah, it is unfortunate to lose that lead Banshee, especially with Glow coming out now. One siege tank does siege up. The other one's trying to get in position. A force field down. This is pretty decent for the siege tanks. Most of the Marines on the high ground here. The SCVs can't get to the one tank. One tank walking all the way around. But the long path will work out. 2 bunkers going down here. This third base kind of awkwardly cut off. 2 gateways going down in the third base.
Yeah, it becomes important sort of how you rally at this point.
Oh, no. Losing a couple stalkers here. The blink's going to help out. 4 stalkers still up.
Just something to keep in mind, every second that this goes on, Pastry's gaining an advantage, so he needs to get some damage done and get it done quick. The charge lots are super useful at this point, because what they do is they pull the tank shots onto your own Marines, so you get hit with your own splash.
Yeah, he ends up canceling the bunkers. 2 Marines here trying to get that last zealot, but he's gonna just run him down, cut him in half.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see GG's called actually right now, just because if you look at the harvester count, it's 57, 27. Pastry way up, managed to get his third fully online and saturated.
We got Immortals out here with the blink as well, so they get the stalker. If you can see that the observer's there, get a scan and snipe that off, and this Banshee can maybe get some work here, but with this blink forward, that's the loss of the Banshee again. Just losing 2 of those with absolutely nothing to show for it. This game is certainly going vastly out of control.
Yeah. I love the idea that push, if the sentries don't get those force fields off, then that's super effective. But he sort of managed to cut him in half there by just throwing that down partway through. It was a great move.
As well as just like slightly ahead of himself with like that first Banshee going down, and then he had a few seconds away from actually having the cloak, and that would have been, you know, a different engagement if that one Banshee could have been in that fight.
Well, and it just goes to show like how important scouting is in this matchup, especially because like with Protoss and Terran, you both kind of get locked into a tech tree, where it's like if you've built too many factories, you have to use them. Like you have to crank out units, otherwise you fall behind, right? And so like Pastry did a great job of kind of scouting when he was moving out, and he knew with the Banshee, like the tendency for those faster units is that they kind of pull ahead. So it's a great idea as Protoss, if you're playing like especially Blink Stalker, to try and like pull ahead of the attack, because sometimes you catch a medevac or a Banshee, some faster unit that doesn't want to get coddled on.
Yeah, I think I actually saw that in some VODs that I was watching today as well. You know, just kind of like moving a medevac ahead, and you're just kind of like, yeah, you know, it would have been real helpful about 10 seconds from now, but you just like waddled it in front of your whole army, and now you don't have it anymore, you know. And particularly, you know, we were watching a lot of Zerg earlier before you joined us on this game, Terran and Protoss, and that is the big difference. And you know, Protoss has a lot of flexibility with the gateways, but you know, they suffer the same problem that the Terrans do, where, you know, when it comes to the robo bays or the Stargates, where like you lose a swarm of those units, and it's just like, well, I can't just snap my fingers and have, you know, 12 Void Rays, you know, or 12 Immortals, you know, which is probably more common, you know, so you do kind of have these like, you know, invested all betted attacks sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Oof, that was a good game. I mean, that honestly, that looked like a really scary push. Yeah. Pastry's giving him creds in the chat.
yeah. I have the chat visible, so everybody can see it. But certainly, like, kind of scary stuff. And you can see as well that like Pastry just exploded afterwards in terms of bases and stuff. So that is really kind of also the time that you need to attack, you need to strike, you need to go for the jugular there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because Pastry was being pretty greedy. That third was super fast. He was using all of his chronos for probes, so he's just trying to like bang out a stronger economy and kind of assuming that Prime Mind will do the same, but maybe a little bit further behind.
Yeah. And Terran's a tough one as well. You know, in some sense, at least in the let's see, what was the last real big star? Was there Katowice?
Katowice was a big one, and then recently we actually had GSL.
Yeah, I've been
the
following
sort of Korean series.
Yeah, I've been following the GSL results, but I guess mainly my point was about the number of Terrans that were at Katowice.
Right.
I think it was like 4 out of 32 or 28. It was like, damn, dude, like, you know. But then at the end, it was like Mario, who's like a god, and you know, Oh yeah, this map is weird, but it is a ladder map. You know, Mario.
Oh yeah, this is a great one for Terran.
Yeah, the other one with the slow zones, what is it? Purity and Industry. That one is a pretty interesting one as well. Yeah,
That's some playful banter in there.
Yeah. But yeah,
I'm
Terran.
just gonna grab a refreshment real quick.
No, no worries, no worries. Just for the audience's sake, then you know, Terran definitely requires a little bit of you know, real clean execution to pull off effectively. I made jokes in the past. You know, I would feel bad naming the player that I'm talking about, but I felt like I watched some Zergs play and I just like couldn't understand them, and I watched some Protoss play and I was like, huh, I could play Protoss. But Protoss certainly takes quite a bit of, you know, timing. There are some caster units that take a lot of precision, but then there's some units like you just get a bunch of gateway units, you get a bunch of immortals, and you just A-click and move across the map and win the game. You know.
I've started off racing a fair bit now, and I've been really enjoying playing with Protoss. Like disruptors have become just one of my favorite StarCraft units.
That's one that I actually haven't like dabbled into too much, but I've seen, you know, that makes some pretty big disruptor plays and streaming clips and stuff.
It's
I'm
great.
Like, oh man, I might need to pick that up.
Well, I really like playing with sort of like Zerg, Ling Bane play, and like disruptors have that same kind of feel where it's like
Destructiveness.
when you get this really good connection, there's just like no better feeling.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
You chase that high.
Yeah, I know that feeling from Dota for sure. Some of the heroes I play in Dota, you're just like, I just really want to get that one amazing ultimate or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
What's your main in Dota?
Elder Titan.
Oh, this is one of the newer ones. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm behind.
Well, I mean, not really. I mean, he got added by like TI2 or TI3.
Oh, okay.
So he's.
Oh, I've been playing since like Warcraft 3, so like I took a long break. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely was still a Warcraft 3 one, but I think he was a little bit later.
Yeah.
But actually, my story with that is that when I started playing Dota, I know that Dota's got such a knowledge base. You know, StarCraft's more of an execution-based game, and
Yeah.
Dota's a bit more knowledge-based. And so I knew that the game had such a history that I was like, well, I want to be the expert at something. So, you know, once, you know, I looked at the list of heroes that weren't added yet, I was like, I would pick one of those and just as soon as it comes out,
Nice.
really focus on it. And that was Elder Titan. So,
There you go.
yeah, like a third of
That's
my games
awesome.
are Elder Titan.
That's awesome.
Been struggling lately though. All my StarCraft is not necessarily completely paying off. My APM is up, my micro is up, but my results are down. So that's all right.
Yeah.
This Adept shades right into these two Marines. Second buddy Adept coming in with the lead one against the weak one. Thankfully though, just for these two Marines, we'll be able to clean that up. And the next two, well, there are two more Marines, but the next two are a bit off from being produced all the way here.
Yeah.
Shade's
This is
coming.
going to be a hassle.
Yeah, with two Adepts, he certainly can do pretty good damage to these SCVs. There's a Widow Mine that was put down to try to be defensive. He's gonna have to tuck this over that will allow him to kind of... Oh, he's got an idle mule here. That hurts.
Yeah, the lost mining time. Totally worth it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, you just get great information. And this is sort of the irony of StarCraft is like basically this tactic is the equivalent of like what Reapers were designed for. Protoss realized like, oh yeah, I can just use these really cool Adept units with this shade and just get in behind enemy lines and keep going.
Yeah. It's so hard to clear them out once they're there, especially when you're on a where it's heavy on Marines. Like, you didn't get early chase them around. Just being stuck on Marines, like, they're strong, but they're just...
Yeah, they're
This is rough.
they're so good against Zerglings. I got a funny story.
Oh! Do you see this hidden fusion?
Yeah, nice. That's a good move. I like that. Yeah, quick funny anecdote about Adepts and versus Zerglings. I was playing a buddy of mine, and he probably is, you know, like Diamondish and plays against some other people that are Diamond. And I've been playing my buddy Zerg v Zerg like quite a bit, as well as the fact that even if his Protoss has come a long ways, but also he's not necessarily up on the meta, you know, so like my Zerg versus his Protoss isn't necessarily training me for ladder or anything.
And I do feel fairly confident about my skills. And this dude challenges me to a game, and we're playing, and he like does like 2 adepts as Protoss and just fucking kills me. And then he's like, oh, do you have any builds? And I was just like, fuck off. You know? Like, just like, come on, man. Like, yeah, I got fucking builds, dude. Like, I could throw down, but like, fuck, you're adept. Like, fuck, you know. Because yeah, that's not cheese anymore, you know. Like, and same thing with like Reapers. Like 2 Reapers is like pretty standard.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, that's sort of the thing. As you move through the meta leagues, like you'll start to encounter just the same.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's almost like when the Reaper doesn't come, you know something's fishy. Like it starts to get weird. Oh, this is a great move with the Phoenixes picking up just some wins here, and also it's kind of scary is this is setting him up really nicely for battle cruisers that are coming.
Yeah.
And he didn't even scout the. Yeah, that Raven is a ton of gas lost.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate because especially that's one of those things that, I mean, he's about to get his first battle cruiser out here, but that Raven, you know, is just going to support his Marines and make his Marines actually more viable in the meantime. The teleport coming in here and an instant reaction from Pastry. He's got a Void Ray on the way. Colossus is not going to help. The 2 Stalkers that were brought out here are going to be quickly cut down.
It's a smart move. He really quickly just transferred.
Oh, yeah. Here comes
this has to get probes.
Yeah, he got a few, but he's actually going to take this pylon out, and that's going to stop the Void Ray from coming out here. And now having to deal with these Phoenixes. Phoenixes getting microed away. Stalkers out here. That battle cruiser not going to be worth it.
Oh, you know what? But yeah, he didn't because he teleported in. I honestly, I think once you see the Phoenixes on, you just can't teleport.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is that the battle cruiser can no longer. Yeah. Because Phoenixes can kite those effects.
The question is whether he basically has faked him out enough, or whether his follow-up support battle cruiser with these siege tanks, if they can get enough done against these Colossus, but these Phoenix would be really helpful here.
Yeah. Well, so Primine's super all in now. He really needs. I think every moment that he holds off is not good.
Yeah, definitely once with these SCVs out here.
Yeah, because Pastry's running lean.
Oh, he's just running these Phoenixes out here. Does pick up some siege tanks. 3rd siege tank coming out here and going to siege up here. The SCVs haven't finished these bunkers at all. Nowhere for these Marines to hide. But the siege tanks keep getting tossed up in the air. They're going to land now. Just the 1 Phoenix holding them down. Colossus going down. That 2nd one taking a lot of shots. Very weak.
But this is sort of the problem is like we keep getting in where he has to get something. And I just don't know how that happens.
Yeah, this is kind of nice how he's using the battle cruiser to try to fight the Colossus. But now that this Void Ray's in here, the siege tanks are doing work though. They're taking out these Stalkers for free. The battle cruiser will be able to deal with this Void Ray, but yeah, again, just extreme commitment from Prime Mind. 31 workers versus 62. And the army supply isn't ahead anymore.
Yeah, but this is the problem. Once you're behind versus the Protoss, yeah, they're gonna keep picking up because Protoss units are expensive, but they're really strong.
Yeah.
So if you can end up on even supply, then like you're ahead, and if you're ahead, then really ahead.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like he didn't have the best trades, or continues to not, super cautiously throw his Colossi forward here. But he's going to get that battle cruiser, and that's very much worth it. Again, as well, with these Colossus versus this 1 siege tank that's kind of out here, super exposed. If he were to just walk it in right now, he might lose the 1 Colossus. Very unefficient, but still super ahead right now.
Yeah, no, this is rough. Pastry has sort of done a really good job of countering everything.
He's got a 4th rolling.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just that early Adept harass kind of build killed some workers that were building key buildings, so those fell behind a little bit. Got like significant SCV damage and some lost mining time, and then just transitioned with those Phoenixes to like really like hamstring it. So he had to go all in, but at this point it's all over.
Yeah, and these battle cruisers even versus Void Rays don't trade all that well. So he
This is another one. This is that siege tank that was posting up, and with enough time on that Colossus as well, and shields regen, he's all fine there. Got Marines rallied across the map, 2 siege tanks, and not a whole lot else.
Yeah, I mean, there's a small chance, Terran, as you stay in the game, really, they have this kind of turtling potential to hang on.
Yeah.
So, but at this point, I think he's too far ahead.
When you see that army that's heading towards the 3rd base and realize that Prime Mine just doesn't have anything realistically that can contest. Zealots as well have charge legs. He's got blink as well. I think he saw that 3rd base and it was just like, oh yeah, it just doesn't matter in this game. And Prime Mine could have GG'd earlier, but that's okay. He's trying to stick in it to win it, you know.
I always think with Terran, it's always a good idea. Because, like, you know, if you get just like a couple raiders and some siege tanks up, and like some Marines in front to tank, sometimes you can hold on through stuff too. They just take a bad engagement.
Yeah.
Oh, he's suffering.
Yeah, did not expect that BC at all. Did a good job of tucking that fusion core away. You know, that certainly helped out a bit, but wasn't able to really kind of capitalize on it with the way that those Phoenixes were. Again, another nice attempt at a timing push, but
GG, well played. Okay, so that's Pastry taking 2 zip.
and it looks like Chester's in a score screen. So that might be wrapped.
Yeah, we
up
can
as
check
well.
in. Yeah, because now we're gonna work on the side. Garrett and Chester currently playing.
Yeah, okay.
Might have finished up. They're 1-0. Yeah.
Yeah. We might have to look at. Oh yeah. There we go. Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Hit me up with that follow. Looks like Arbin Gordon hit me up with a follow a little bit ago. Thanks, Gordon. Appreciate it.
I said, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to take us to a break screen, ladies and gentlemen, but hang tight. Don't go anywhere.
Drinking Kool-Aid, cameras like I did when I was 9. Cause I like to pretend that I haven't lost the time. In the end, the nostalgia, though it tastes fine, I can only drink a couple cause it feels like a lie. We played Halo, and we'd lay low in our basement until the sun began to rise. We would go to school but not learn too much, cause it's hard to read when you've got tired eyes. Months go by, the time it flies, past the days that we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime. Years go by, the time it flies, past the days that we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime.
No fade out. I'm terrible. 1 second. Ow! Welcome back to this gym.
Word.
Word. Zerg versus Terran.
Oh shit! Okay, he's mixing it up.
Switching it up, so that's cool to see.
Nice. He was playing a great Zerg. It was. He had some real scrappers.
Yeah, definitely some scrappy players tonight. I'm surprised he was able to take you out.
Yeah, it was close. I had some notes for myself from my sets tonight.
Yeah.
That's always something that I love about like playing with, especially these local guys. Everyone's super nice, super friendly, like, great sports.
Yeah.
And, like I really like that we can kind of talk through a game, give each other advice, figure out.
I didn't mention. I mentioned some aspects of this conversation or this topic on stream earlier, but one as well, also tied into that, is like the fighting game community.
Yeah.
I was talking about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and that's one where it's like, and I think chess is kind of similar, where everybody knows that like everybody gets beat up on, you know.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know, even if you're winning
Exactly.
against like somebody, like there's other people that have beat up on you, you know. So when you beat up on somebody, generally like, oh yeah, like this is why I won, you know.
Yeah.
As well as
It's one of those things that makes it like absolutely. It's one of those things that makes it like a really interesting game because you know, when you get beat, it's like you get beat. Like the other person just like they just dominated you, you know?
Yeah.
And there's nowhere to sort of hide.
Yeah,
like in like
exactly.
Dota, sometimes you can be like, you know,
yeah.
orange doesn't speak English, you know?
Yeah. TF2 as well. I think I play a lot of competitive Team Fortress, and I think there's a lot of people that sort of have a weak mentality, and they sort of like blame other people, you know, all the time. And it's sort of, there's a lot of other games where it's like you can't do that, and when you can get away with all the time just being like, oh well, it wasn't my fault, you know, then it's really easy to stunt your own growth, you know. As a player.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like the StarCraft community on the whole seems to be, at least I feel like, less toxic. Certainly, like CS:GO is sort of a game that like I play very.
Another thing about Dota that I think StarCraft, again, you know, if you're critiquing somebody's gameplay in StarCraft, generally at the end of the day, I mean, there's a right and a wrong, and usually if it wins, it's right, you know, and if it loses, that doesn't necessarily mean it was wrong, you know, because there's also sometimes the poker aspect of like, well, considering the circumstances, you made the safe play, but you didn't realize that he had this, so you shouldn't really feel bad that he lost, you know.
Yeah.
That happens sometimes, you know, but
yeah. Well, there's certainly a little bit of variance, you know, especially in ZVZ, especially because all of the units are so fast. With like banelings, it's like a single baneling can kill 15 units. Like, it's just you can just click wrong and just lose, you know.
Yeah, and I guess
or like something's in the way while you're trying to.
Yeah.
It was delayed by a second, so that's it.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess again to wrap up the thought about Dota. With Dota, I went to the international, the big tournament, and I just found it interesting that there was, this many years ago, so many people in the audience that had a backseat opinion about what strategic choices the player should have made.
Yeah.
In StarCraft, you can kind of have that, you know, it's like, oh, like, why did he go for lurkers there? He should have done blah, blah, blah. But also in StarCraft, you know, sometimes people just lose and they just don't pull it all together.
Yeah, that's always the crazy thing is like when I watch my own replays, like I think like, God damn, I'm moving so slow, you know, even when like it's like my max of like APM, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that there's something similar to that with like watching professional players where you watch them and it's like, oh, like why didn't they do this? And it's like people fail to realize they're moving like 2 to 3 times as fast as like your average player.
Yeah. And certainly I was mentioning it, you know, watching pro players, again, making another esport analogy, StarCraft and Street Fighter, sometimes it's hard to see how good the player is, you know, like with Street Fighter, if you're completely scrubbed to it, you're like, oh wow, that was a cool combo, you know, and if you played it a bit, you're like, that combo is really, really hard to do.
Yeah, you start to pick up on the differences and really see the struggle.
Yeah, and right now the interesting thing to point out, because we haven't been talking too much about this game itself,
Garrett sort of locked himself off. He ended up going Protoss as well, which he sort of didn't talk about too much. He pulled a fast one on us. And he's got a Forge, which he built that kind of early, going for level 1 weapons, and now going for the early Twilight Council as well, which was scouted out here by this Overlord, and he's got charge lots going, following that up with a Robo Bit.
So this to me, there's just from what toss play, I think probably what we're going to see is, because we don't see gas coming down in the natural. This is likely going to be some sort of immortal charge lot play, because getting charged so quickly, we're probably going to see him throw down a couple of gateways in a moment to try and really his production.
Right now he's got the Warp Prism going out of the Robo Bit. So you can send that across the map, use that as a mobile pylon, and then follow it up with Immortals, and probably then with the Immortals, you know, use that same Warp Prism or a different Warp Prism. But we kind of have the counter to this coming. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, which is just early pressure with a lot of roaches and a lot of lings. Actually got 30 lings queued up in production.
I love this move as Zerg. I honestly, because playing against macro Protoss is just so goddamn difficult, I usually tend to err on the side of just doing like Ravager Ling cheese. Because like the thing is, the fact that the Protoss is only supported by this means that biles become extremely effective. Because you can basically hamstring them just by hitting rounds.
The other thing here is the way that gateways work, which gateways are just now starting to get finished, and he is just now finishing his warp gate technology as well. But if he actually warps in units to attack, he's not going to have units that he can warp in to defend. He's just got the one turret, the shield battery, and this one immortal here. Look at this swarm of Zerglings that want to get through. One's outstanding tall right now, though.
I love this push because the roaches and the lings get to work together, so the defense is good. He's got the right idea with them. So it's just a matter of whether they can. Shield battery's all out. Lings are leaking through.
This is probably going to be over for the most part. His Warp Prism counterattack as well is actually just lingering. The Warp Prism just kind of hanging out in the middle of the map here. The
only thing I don't like there is just running the lings into damage on the probes. You need those lings to target down that is just super low, because honestly, if this doesn't work, if he holds, then it's going to be all over.
The shield battery is very strong as well for helping out with this Immortal. And indeed, he hasn't killed this Forge yet. Trying to send in more lings here. The backup lings have arrived, but still not killing that Forge. They're just giving him so much more surface area. He's got to take that down.
Oh yeah, this is rough. Well, I mean, so the good news is there were some Harvesters lost for the Protoss there, so he's actually still ahead in terms of probe count. He's got his third established. Probably going to see some counterplay here, but honestly, I don't see these Zealots make any headway. He might not know exactly how far ahead he is, but I think he's actually doing. I think he just needs to recoup, get some Ravagers online, and Blue needs to start marching across the map.
Garrett's got a couple Zealots up top here that he's warped in here. He'll probably add to that with another wave of warp-ins in a second here. There's a few at least. He doesn't quite have enough here. Well, I don't know. It looks like a decent swarm here to maybe deal with these Zerglings, because he does have +1 ground weapons and charge slots here, as well as, you know, being able to fight in a kind of a small contained area here. Has to deal with the spine crawler here. The other Zealots are a little bit slow to this fight, but they are charging forward here and now starting to get very good numbers here. Queen peppering away from the side here in this fight actually. Well, more Zealots coming in here. They are charging forward, so it does look pretty good for Garrett here. This is kind of a do or die fight.
Yeah, I think he behind that last attack. I think he felt he was behind when he really could have just stayed on the same drone, just prepare for the counterattack.
Yeah.
Although we got lots of roaches coming in, this might be good.
Yeah, roaches do pretty good against Zealots. You can't really, you know, kite them as well away. You know, now that the charge lock has kind of finished. I think he needs to do a better job focusing as well, because there are some super weak ones that he could be chipping out. They're still just being able to really kind of hack away at him. He is going to be able to come up here, and he does have about 7 workers on his Expo, but this Warp Prism just kind of continues to bring in Zealots here.
Oh, and they're going for the Roach Warren's got 50 health. Hasn't killed it yet.
Oh, if he doesn't finish that off,
He really should.
it's gonna be a big miss. Yeah.
As 4 Zealots run past it. And
I mean, I think he's really hoping to just kind of. I think they're both in a situation where neither quite knows who's ahead. I think they both feel that they need to finish this now.
yeah, Chester with stronger army. He does finally get that Roach Warren though, so. But at the
he
same
should be able to
time,
hold.
this is pretty much kind of like the last the Zealots and War Prism can do.
Yeah, this looks good actually. This looks really good.
Garrett has 0 army right now. This is War Prism.
It's the funny thing because if either of them just started droning, the person would be ahead. Whoever starts droning first, really.
Yeah, new Roach Warren is down. Just a lot of Zerglings running across here. 6 more.
Oh, did you see the Immortal just killed the Forge?
I did.
What? What?
I mean, he needs to get out, but yeah, at the same time, I think that was a beneficial building to him.
I don't know if that
Was he
was.
trying to build in Zealots? Is that T? Is that force attack for the same button?
I don't know. That's wild. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, we got some Idra action going on here from Garrett. And his main base is kind of starting to mine out a little bit, 9 out of 10 in terms of the efficiency of the workers. And his other base, 16 out of 16 with no gas. So it kind of has some economic issues he's got to pay attention to. And not much gas harvesting going on, and he's also floating 1,400 right now.
Yeah, he's having a bit of an issue spending.
Yeah, and he had to rebuild his forge, so.
Well, it's interesting to watch the player cams to get an idea. This is, but it was good. Chris managed to pick up on that warp prism kind of working. He's starting to drone back up, so I think he's got a good idea of where he is in the
Yeah, and he's building a Spire as well, which can be helpful against some Protoss builds to have those Colossus, but against my roommate, using that as my example in my history, I won a game because I went heavy on the Corruptors, and I lost a game because I went heavy on the Corruptors.
This is
really good.
This is good push with these.
Yeah, now the Immortal's coming in from behind as well. It still has low health, but he's just getting so much work done with these Zealots still against these Roaches. With that one Immortal, it's actually just hammering away at the hatchery. And these drones are just standing there. They're not even helping out in the fight. Come on, drones.
Well, so the good thing about doing this, when you hold position the drones, the Zealots aggro onto the attacking units, but the drones form a blocking. So you actually manage to limit the surface area, which can be really helpful.
Still doing an okay job of that. Hiding those Roaches behind the mineral line, but the Squirrels are hammering away at that hatch. Are going to take the 3rd down. He doesn't have a full complement of workers on that natural expo. Again, these Roaches, these Zealots still doing great work against these Roaches. Not necessarily focus firing against, but just allowing some weak points to do a lot of work done.
Man. Yeah, I think this might just work. I mean, the way the position is, he really just has the sort of approaches here.
He's going to get another spine here. If he can pull the Queen back, keep the Queen safe, and do some transfers a bit. As I say that, though, the spine does go down. Drones coming in here. And with some of the Roaches, actually, both these Immortals are going to go down here. He needs to pull these drones back out. But now he's heavily losing drones and seriously behind in the worker count.
Yeah,
So,
I think he knows what's
yeah.
because he knows for sure that the other guy's got full saturation on his naturals. This is over.
It's one of those things as well. I feel like he forgot that he had a Spire.
Well, I think it just finished up during that, and the problem is like he can't do the transition into Muta because he needs the Roaches. You know, it's just kind of that short-term issue.
I mean, against all Zealot though, and Immortal, you throw it a little bit in there, at least force some sort of switch up.
I think he had the right idea there, like trying to go because Muta perfectly. The problem is it's just Garrett made the right decision because he knew he was on. You just get aggressive. Attack.
Yeah, definitely strong play from Garrett there, getting the win. That's going to move him forward to face off against Prime Mind. We'll see if Garrett needs a little bit of a break here. But that was a fun match, and we have more matches coming up as we're getting into the lower bracket finals.
So I think that was 2-1, right?
Yeah, that was
Set.
one.
Okay, so then we got 9 versus Garrett. Go message Prime Mind, let these up.
Cool.
Cool. Prime Mind is in the. So we should hear soon. Alright, be right back in a second.
Yeah, no worries. I'm gonna go to holding screen again here, ladies and gentlemen.
I still got my friends, they've been with me for some time, and it's nice to know that they still by my side. Friends are like stars, cause no matter how far, when it's dark outside, they will be your light. We'd play Halo, and we'd lay low in our basement until the sun began.
Next song.
I don't do this often, you caught me off guard. All of my friends said you moved out west. You tell me stories underneath sunsets. Could it be more than just one night? Kissing the cab ride, head turning left, right. Get a ticket for two to wherever you choose. Drinking some red out of the blue. You say my name with your accent, makes me remember how much I missed you. Hope you're planning to stay for a million
Welcome
days.
back, ladies and gentlemen.
You'll be my
Getting ready to go on Purity and Industry. I don't think we've actually seen this yet tonight.
Alright, I'm back.
Yeah, lower bracket finals. Prime Mind on the Terran versus Garrett. He switched back to the Zerg. Joined by OtterFamily. Nice to have you.
Howdy, folks. Yeah, I'm excited to get to see Prime Mind play some more. He's really. It might be hard to see like when playing against someone like Pastry, who's really like a excellent player. But Prime Mind can really hold his own. He's a fantastic Terran. So I'm excited to get to see him shine.
Yeah, it certainly can be tough to really look cool as a Terran when your all-in pushes don't work, right?
Absolutely.
And it was unfortunate with that battle cruiser. You know, he was just like really wanted to get it out there, wanted to use it, and there was Phoenixes out there. Same thing with, or very similar story with the Banshees, where he's like, okay, I'm gonna have cloak Banshees. This would be a cool timing push with a couple siege tanks, and then his first Banshee gets picked off, and then his second Banshee gets picked off. So, you know, definitely some tough luck in his first match. But this is a different opponent. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have a very bad record versus Prime Mind. He plays a great TVZ. I think it's one of his stronger matchups.
I did see on the Twitters, I think it was Rainer, who was saying that he just didn't really know what to do against Zerg on this map. How are your feelings on this map? This is a weird one.
I mean, this one's fine for
Yeah.
like playing ZVT. I mean, the thing is, the with all of these gas things that sort of block vision towards the center of the map.
Inhibitor zone generators.
Well, so in addition to that, like if you see where the Zelnaya tower, surrounding that, there are these sort of gas vents that block vision. So those are actually good for Zerg. And for the most part, it's level. That's the kind of stuff that like you hate as Zerg is when.
That's true.
And with this sort of long way around
Yeah.
to get into the space, it allows you to like do some run and stuff. So I think this one's a pretty good Zerg, to be honest.
Cool. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. But there's some weird stuff you can do, like you can like proxy starports there, or
just float something out there, right?
And as Zerg, like you have so little recourse until to deal with it.
Reaper's out early, finds the Zerglings. Has to be a little bit careful, use a little bit of micro here in this fight, but it's going fine with him. He's going to start getting some casualties here in a second.
And this is always the good thing, like the difference between like really good Terrans. He's not really got it.
Yeah, he's doing good work over there. He's going to calm it down for a second, as probably needs to get some macro rolling. He's going to run the Reaper around, do some other kind of checkaroos. Little attachment swap here at 12. Factory's going to get dropped onto the...
A little change of decision.
Yeah, so he still is going to go for Tech Lab, actually.
And so I think he's thinking tank.
Yeah, most likely. As well as we'll see if he ends up swapping that starport, going for like a Banshee or something. Or also, ending up maybe switching the starport in the reactor to get some medevacs and some bio going.
Oh, I think this may have been actually a mistake. Or no, okay, so he wanted the 2 Marines. I think he's worried about something. Not sure what. Maybe we'll see something like a Hellbat push. Because like normally, like this doesn't look like a 2-1. Otherwise, you'd keep the barracks on the reactor, and then you'd want just like a tank at home for security. This is interesting. Okay.
Yeah, certainly. He's got the 2 Hellions out now, cranking out 2 more. Even actually got a 3rd queued up.
I like this though. The Hellions are a great way to early harass and start to control Zerg, so that they aren't just doing what they want to do. And then the Banshee is like a great to sort of split attention and kind of mess up your macro.
Yeah, and then as well, we'll see if he ends up taking that into a battle cruiser build. Starports with tech reactors, sorry, tech labs, or if he kind of does a similar timing push. Right now, it doesn't. With Hellions, you're not really going to do a Hellion Banshee push. So it's probably more just Banshee harass.
Yeah, with the 3rd on the way, I think he's looking to just get group, and he's going to use these units to divide attention, prevent him from doing drone, really getting his macro.
This Banshee's going to be great because he has no detection, he has no lair yet, and as Cloak is going to finish here, then he will be able to just cloak up and kill on the Queen. Throws down 1 Spore Colony in his main and has a bunch of Queens en route, but hasn't reacted in his base yet. He's spamming Zerglings in. It's actually going to be enough of a distraction that if this Spore Colony finishes, then he can't really use the Cloak, at least in the main base.
But that's the good thing is, like, I feel so long as the Banshee gets 3 or 4 drones like this one did, I think it pays for itself. It's good. Like you want to start to shave away some of the margins. You don't want the Zerg getting up to 60 drones really quick, and early damage to the drone. It really compounds, so it makes it hard to get to where you want to.
Yeah, he is going to be able to tuck away that Banshee with 5 health. If he can get that all the way back home, he can get that some repairs. He is looping another Banshee around the other way. His first Banshee. Thought about sending it down. Now he's running out with some Hellions. And that first Banshee might just go get a repair.
Good move on the Zerg's part. I like just getting a couple of Ravagers, because he sees that that the reactor is on the factory because the 2 Hellions hit together. So that means likely there's going to be Surface area is like good with Zerglings, you can handle a bit, but you really need those Ravagers to help actually zone them out, keep them off your minute line.
Yeah, right now coming in on this Queen has the cloak as well. A lot of drones here. Hellions might end up being stuck here, and the drones have rotated away. Has cleared out most of the Zerglings. Banshee going in to punish these drones, and look at these Hellions coming in.
Oh, yeah. It's worth it to sacrifice them as long as you...
We got a good amount there. And the workers of our Zerg, though, still at 54. Of course, the Terran does have those mules, which kind of evens things up overall.
Yeah, so I think that was a good move. The only thing that I sort of just down with, if you, I think his eyes might have been, but if you can just focus on the drones, it's so much more worth it to lose more Hellions, but get like 6, 7 drones there.
Yeah.
Because you really want to try and equalize it to make those mules mad.
His Banshee gets cleared out here, and he is researching. Is that a Banshee tech on the Starport Tech Lab? I don't even know what that is. Just finished up. Yeah. Something rotors or something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he's getting, or has it? He got it, which is not a bad idea.
What was that for? That was for medevacs or?
No, it's for Banshee speed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it just makes them a lot faster. It makes them really capable of kiting, which is good. Like seeing the Rotorn, that's something you want versus like a Ravager push, and also helps them stay on top of it too.
He's got a Viking that's out on the field that was chasing some Overlords. With that slow zone though, it's actually gonna put it in a little bit of, take a little bit more damage, maybe otherwise would.
We got Pastry in the chat saying Garrett's ahead. That I sort of agree with that assessment. The Terran should ideally have gotten some more drone kills by this point. Whereas at the moment it feels sort of like they're both kind of being able to do the thing. But I think that Prime committed a little bit more towards us.
And yeah, just fourth base just now going down. Spore colonies are pretty well deployed. And there is certainly good saturation. But Army is kind of even here. We'll have to see, though, if Prime Mind really does have the correct composition, though, at the moment.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's looking a little bit... it's super heavy Hellion versus what's coming, which is big run of Roaches. Yeah, 20 Roaches, 3 Ravagers.
I feel like I saw a Thor or 2, but maybe... No.
Yeah, oh yeah, so we got 2 Thors, that's good. Those will hang out and do good damage like during the fight. But I'm a little bit worried about like the heavy. If you switch them into Hellbats, you can kind of get away with that because then they're able to be healed by evacs and then they can start to tank shows.
That's right.
Garrett kind of making the decision to back off and not try. Oh, the Banshee is making great headway down by the 3rd. That's awesome. I didn't actually see that happening.
We also have the Thor drop was going on. I was wondering where those Thors went because I was like, I saw.
Oh lordy!
So he did a Thor drop at the same time that he's doing the Banshee drop. And
oh lordy!
Certainly has made some plays happen. He's gonna lose that Banshee now.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Hydra, but
he's pulled way ahead in harvester count. He's up 62 to 40.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that, like, the transfer of drones to the 4th never really happened. So he did, Garrett did have a ton of drones, but, you know, he didn't ever really balance it out. And now he's actually kind of mining out of his main. And
just looking at units killed right now, Prime Mine has killed 37 drones.
Oh,
that's amazing. That's incredible damage.
It's a pretty fierce push across, though, and he has found the command center. He's trying to turn it into a planetary fortress. He's not going to have time to whatsoever, though. Drones are queued up to go there. They're going to turn around. They say, no, thank you. That's going to lift. The Hydras want to get it on fire, set the mother effer on fire.
I really like this composition, actually, for Cyclone can get basically versus witches. And then the Thors can kind of hang out and just pound away. So I don't see him being able to actually push in. Yeah, although I think if he saw the drone count, I think he would know that he really needs to be attacking right now.
Yeah.
Because Prime is going to pull away in terms of supply for the rest of the game. until some SCV damage gets done.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things as well that, Prime Mine has 200. He's just going to land that command center again, get that established. Ooh, do we have a drop attempt over here? No, I don't think so. I don't know what Garrett's doing, pulling his whole army over to top right.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that click was, to be honest.
He's
But
trying
I think this is great. It's from Prime Mind. He
yeah.
started a little bit rocky. He sort of got rebuffed. Didn't get a ton of damage done with those early Hellions. But that split move with the super fast Banshees. Oh wow, yeah. This is actually
Yeah.
he's completely out of position right now.
Yeah, so this is really dangerous because he definitely has a supply lead, but if he loses a bunch of Thors here, loses tanks, other of these factory heavy units,
Yeah.
he's trying
These
to
Thors are
trade
going to go
out,
down
but-
for cheap. I think we might see like a base trade here because the army that's
Yeah.
left over is massive. Yeah,
And I
we seen.
I don't really love the idea of a base trade here either because the Hellion Cyclone Force when it comes down to it,
I think he's just going to try and hold the supply wall as he pushes. I think
Yeah.
actually he made the right decision. Just commit to this. They're already on the other side of the map. It's more Zerg to keep that fourth base than it is for him to take out the other guys.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely Prime Mine, and as a Terran, this is a great situation. Really makes you nervous as a Zerg, and this force has to run all the way back. The intention of this attack was to do it as a supply trade, just get these units some value, and then, build up good value units before. I was worried he was going to have this force be inactive while this counterpush was going on, but once that counterpush kind of got slowed down, this force has done way too much damage.
A little worried about the fate of this force,
Yeah.
though.
Oh, yeah,
kinda
they're
getting caught.
just giving
No,
forward. That is a kind of a costly loss there.
it's a ton of gas just gone.
Yeah. Same time, still, very nice worker count. Although that fourth base, is pretty crucial. Garrett's getting, Prime Mine's getting his fourth base back together.
Oh
He
god,
had a
that's
very nice fight
huge
for.
catch.
Yeah, very nice fight for Garrett. Hellions-
Yeah, these units are completely strange.
Yeah, they're still being super obnoxious though, and Garrett's still in that kind of tough position where he wants to counterattack, but he knows that this big force is lurking. He's got another base down. Scan went down. I don't quite see where he scanned.
Get those tanks sieged up. No.
Oh, and he's got some mutas. Cyclones do pretty good against mutas, but he just doesn't have that many cyclones anymore. And he's also having to focus his attention on this other fight back at home.
Yeah, this looks pretty good for the Zerg player. I mean, these are some super strong units that are just kind of idling.
Yeah,
I'm not
for
sure
sure.
where his attention is.
I mean, Garrett's lost a lot of workers. Prime Mine was kind of focused on that attack, but at the same time, it's about this fourth base. And if Prime Mine loses this base right out front, if he loses these harvesters, then he's really got not much left. That's getting
Yeah,
money.
just watching from Prime Mine's perspective, it's good. He's on top of. He's working on, and he's also kind of hammering away up in the top
I didn't
right.
see that.
He's
That's
established a
good
little
location.
sneaky base.
This army
Not a bad idea.
up top is just gonna take out supply depots. They can kind of back up and disengage. Should be okay. They're trying to take this fight though, and they get enough getting trapped here. They're getting a lot of supply depots getting killed. Liberators are out here though, just kind of chipping away now.
Yeah.
They're doing a lot of work.
I think any moment that you spend in Liberators, it's a bad idea.
Yeah, and this is
See how that shakes out.
one of those things that like the worker count is even right now, but Garrett just doesn't have the resources. I feel like the Terran is going to feel confident. He's just going to march across the map, and I don't think that. Yeah, okay, they're trying to get some. Oh, those are Ravagers. If you had some lurkers ready, then perhaps that could kind of lead to some sort of hold here. But I think it's going to be really desperate, and I don't think Garrett's gonna
Yeah.
have
Do
the
we
army
see a
for it.
lurker den going down?
No.
Because I've started to feel really as that. Like in Terran, I really feel that it's become just a race towards lurker. Like I think if you aren't going for lurker, you're making a mistake in CVT. At least versus mech style.
Yeah, and I think it's like lurker into combo with right? Just enough corruptors to kill the Vikings,
Yep.
medevacs,
Yeah.
inch forward, but also having Ravagers. It's definitely a tight balance, but
need to have lurkers because that just slows down the mech push so much.
Yeah. The balance of supply right now, really good.
Yeah.
I think he's done a good job of kind of conserving his losses. He evacuated what he needed to, and now just those mules are starting to kind of make the difference.
Yeah, that was the idea that I was going to point out. I don't know if we have some of our newer watchers still watching, but you know, if you can have lurkers and you just cost the Terran a bunch of scams, like that actually does make a strong economic difference. When they're not having as many mule drops as they really should. So that's kind of a balance too. If you over-invest in lurkers and then he just scans or use detection and just clears you out, that's not going to work out. But if you just use enough lurkers that you slow down that mech push and you also cost him to use a bunch of command center energy, then yeah, crucial against Terran.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great little bundle of units coming out now. I was a little worried with There's up front. You can see based on the supply, Prime's continually rallying. He's staying on his macro, keeps re-expanding to those knocked out locations. I think he's looking really good in this game.
There's so many factories just going all mech, which certainly has been pretty popular for Terrans against Zergs. Popular because it's successful as well. And he's gonna
Yeah,
have
I mean,
level 3 weapons soon here, by the way.
Yeah,
For
that's
our
great.
armor.
His upgrades are looking awesome.
That's ship weapons.
Nice. Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like as Zerg, like your options versus this composition are just super low. I really think it just comes down to lurk. There isn't a lot else that works well.
Yeah, and Infestors is maybe like the old school, like doesn't really work, you know, of like fungal and trying to do neural whatever, you know, like it just.
Yeah,
so
I
much
think
money.
definitely if they're going cyclone heavy style, then it's absolutely like necessary to get those fungals because you want to be able to hit the cyclones with Banes or Lings. But yeah, in this classic mech with the Thors, I think you need the. Oh no! Oh, you hate to see Vipers just moving in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a rough one for sure. I mean, Garrett was really hanging in there for quite a while, and fighting hard. But you know, just kind of as that game wound on, he really definitely got whittled away by that Terran and you know his mech work.
Yeah, for a moment there, they were quite neck and neck. He got one really good engagement where he sort of those cyclones, and at that point he probably could have pushed, but after that it was all. He really got those Thor engines on. Was just able to take good engagements.
The trade across the map was really rough for him, and just overall great pressure from Prime Mind, keeping Garrett on his toes. A mix of you know, the Banshee harass and just kind of the Hellions.
I love Garrett in the chat saying, "Whatever, it's fine."
yeah. Pick up my map choice. Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah, for sure. That was a rough one. He's been bouncing through some races, which is fun. It sounds like Pastry says in honor of our fallen Zerg brethren, he will play Zerg versus the winner here. So we'll see. He might think that's probably going to be Prime Mind.
Yeah, he's looking really good this matchup. Oh, what happened? Did we lose Garrett?
Yeah, but he should probably just get re-invited here. So
Let's take a look. I'm just gonna grab a refreshment.
yeah, no worries. Hopefully Garrett stays in it because you know he got kind of frustrated playing against Pastry, but that was the first game, and you know Garrett, if he wins here, you know he'd be guaranteed second, but he might just be taking that third place here.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, it sounds like our players are gonna. Which is fair. We've been at this for
Yeah, for sure, and especially
5 hours in.
yeah, especially with Garrett. you know, having made his way through lower bracket and stuff.
Yeah, he's had a lot of
playing
games
for a bit, you know. So
for sure.
okay, cool. Looks like everybody's here. Yeah, and everybody's ready. So we'll be getting going underway here. 1-0 to Prime Mind in our lower bracket finals. If he takes the second game right here, then Garrett will be third place. Pastry will be taking on the winner. Promised he'd play Zerg. Wouldn't mind seeing a Zerg versus Prime Mind's Terran.
Honestly, I think his decision to go Protoss was a good move.
Mm-hmm.
He's said in the past that Prime Mind's told in the past that this is his sort of his weak suit, and he has a great win person.
Garrett in the
So I'm looking
left.
forward to seeing Pastry get trashed.
Yeah, hopefully, right? Hopefully we get that lower bracket run back. Run back.
Oh yeah.
So, Ever Dream here. Just a pretty straightforward map. Nothing, I don't know, really necessarily too funky about it.
Yeah, it's just extra long. It's a super map, so the only thing is just we're less likely to... Well, actually, no, he's gotten 12. We're going to get an interesting... He's a 10. I'm not sure it's the map to try this on, because it's so easy as Terran. Block off by the time that the Lings want to hit. But we'll see. Maybe he's going to do something interesting.
Yeah, I mean...
Like a Ravager all.
He still needs, like... Yeah, I mean, I guess he will. He'll build an attachment, and then he'll wall off.
Yeah, exactly. Attachment plus supply depot should...
So 3 Lings coming out ASAP. We'll see if he pulls any drones with us as well.
I would love
No,
a 12.
He is gonna throw the hatch down, but he's gonna see like how late this hatch is. Just be like, what? Naughty.
Well, I think this looks... I think in terms of the timing, this looks... But yeah, this is the clear giveaway with...
Yeah, and he sees him run down, but the thing is, he's training the Reaper right now, so he has to pull another SCV to put a second supply depot down.
Smart move.
But this one Reaper will be, you know, potentially quite effective. It looks like this is just going to revert into normal, you know, macro, but...
yeah, I mean, I guess he's trying to just sort of bait an overreaction, but honestly, with the
Oh,
I think he's already.
let's say if you got those 6 in, then that, you know, he could.
Oh, if you can get those on top of the supply depot, it's
Yeah.
great.
The Reapers are just so effective and so annoying that, you know, even at this early game, like the one Reaper is just gonna be able to deal with this 12 pool pressure.
Against slow Ling, you can infinite numbered Zerg. So yeah.
Yeah, really the thing is that I was sort of surprised that it, you know, he didn't follow up the 12 Ling with Baneling Nest, because that can be the follow-up, is that you get the Terran to wall in, and then you can maybe Baneling bust them and also get them kind of stuck on supply. But we're not seeing him really kind of attempt to do that. He definitely is really kind of reverting, you know, 3 queens, you know, reverting to a normal build.
I think he was because we didn't see follow-up Lings. I think really, and we also didn't see gas, because like I think if you're serious about it, then you're gonna get gas so that you can get your speed as well. I think most likely he was hoping for an overreaction, like maybe he throws down a supply depot and a bunker, delays his command center.
Yeah, and
but I think he had a very level-headed response.
Yeah. I mean, in some ways, you know, like those extra supply depots, you know, this Zerg really doesn't seem all that slowed down. He hasn't put a 3rd base down, but I believe he did not take Zerg speed, if I see that correctly. So I mean, he's saving up gas to then transition into Roaches, I would assume. So this could be a very good, you know, transition into a 2-base Roach play.
Yeah, I think this is I don't think this is a bad idea. This is an interesting kind of play with some high drone. I think he did manage to delay CC a tiny bit, because I know Prime Mind tends to favor a sort of return to fast CC.
Right.
And so he did manage to do that, and we might see like some interesting 2-base.
Yeah, Yeah, we see the Baneling nest go down now, and he is building the lair as well. I wonder if he'll realize that he hasn't done Baneling speed.
He might have honestly forgot.
Yeah, and that's why I was sort of surprised that he didn't actually put like a roach den down, because that would have maybe.
I'm curious. Do we have
intentional.
pastry in the chat? Maybe you could chime in
Yeah,
if
you
you've seen the
should.
build, because I'd be curious. Because I have heard something that's sort of like Ravager Baneling, which this might be something like that. But he's floating so much, I honestly can't picture what this is exactly.
I mean, he certainly could still kind of get some results if he gets his Zerglings in the right position, just based off the fact that there's not really that many Hellions out here, and you know, Banelings, if he really has a swarm of Zerglings, but that window's kind of closing here.
Yeah.
He's still got the slow
Yeah.
links too.
I mean, what I can envision sort of working at this point
There's the speed.
okay. We see a Nidus going down. That's interesting. So maybe he's looking to do something sort of, and then just Bane's to try and pull him off of this mineral.
This is rough though.
Yeah, I don't know that he's going to get a chance to do it. He's making the right decision here. He's focusing on queens. He's really just going for drone damage.
Yeah.
Because that's going to slow you down. Yeah, he's not attack moving. He's oof. Oh my god. This is all the drones.
Yeah, this is a slaughter. He's got 16 left. He's going to be really demoralized about this. He's got a Nidus network going down. That was sort of the play that he was going to transition into.
I just don't see what you do with it at this point.
No. I mean, even if you get one down and then you slip some Banes in through that, you know, you could devastate the economy of the main, but he's actually got 13 SCVs at the expo. And,
Yeah.
you know, you're just so far behind. You don't even, he doesn't have Roach at all. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's going in to get it started. I don't think that the Nidus was spotted. Or, I mean, it was spotted, but probably not.
No, it was not spotted by the Terran. He doesn't have vision of it, so.
Okay.
Oh, you mean the
he saw
other
something-
entrance, though? Yeah, that's a good question. But the Lings are coming in here. The Queens are already kind of running in through. Lings on auto attack, already going through the first barracks. That is combat shields going in that tech lab, so he doesn't pick up that tech lab. That'll help out.
But the way they're
quite a
just
bit.
trickling in.
Yeah, he
this
doesn't have
is
any
crazy.
Banes either, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I think Garrett might hide himself out of this match a little bit. Kind of early cheese. Although, there's still some possibility here, but he's not focusing the medevac either. It should be another crucial play here. 2 medevacs, and they're just hammering away at these 5 Marines. Queens are going to go down here. He's got nothing to support this. 14 Lings in production. The Nidus going down.
And I think we're likely to see a GG pretty
Yeah,
soon.
maybe. It's not like he has any other close Nidus, you know, formed or up, so. And, yeah, trying to
It's a
get
very
one.
very bold Nidus. I think he sort of realized what's happening now with the number of losses he suffered. I think his best bet is to try and just keep everything on that. Use the Nidus as a distraction tactic. Try and drone up. See if you can get out of this. But I honestly, I don't really see it.
Well, this other Nidus is kind of unnoticed in the expansion. So
Oh,
there's
wow.
still maybe
Yeah, no, he's
a
getting away
sliver
with
of
that.
help here. But there is a barracks and a siege tank coming down. The siege tank is sieging up. So these Zerglings have a shelf life. They're only going to last so long here.
I think we're likely to see. We'll see. Yeah, we've got a Nidus, but it just has 3 occupants. It's pretty low.
Yeah. One queen. Come on, queen. No. And he still has the other one up, but yeah, I mean, not really too many Zerglings in it. Still trying to cram a few more in there. And
Yeah.
yeah, the Liberator's doing a lot of work. He's not really bringing quite enough pressure. Siege Tank really kind of shutting things down. And Garrett's got to be a little bit demotivated here. You know, it'd be fine to GG out at this point. It'd be fine.
Yeah,
And,
I think he's
yeah, there it is. Forgot about my
finally there it is.
screen.
Yeah. It was extremely late. So I guess that's what it was. He was really going because he was so gas heavy. He was going for that Nidus way before he built it. I think the plan was to do like a speedling flood, and he just had to delay it so
Yeah.
that I think it just really lost its potency.
Definitely the other thing is as well is that like you do need banelings. You know, there's just when there's a swarm of SCVs that are getting in front of like 5 Marines, you know.
Oh yeah.
You have like
You can
3,
sometimes
4
get
banelings
value.
in there.
Yeah.
You know, that could be a GG, right? But
Yeah. Yeah,
Instead-
absolutely. I mean, if you can drop onto, yeah. If you can drop him down to your work,
yeah.
that's great. It's so hard.
Yeah, so GG well played by Garrett. You know, nice try by him. You know, definitely a little bit of cheesiness that then transitioned into, you know, a bit more stable build, but also like couldn't really get the momentum going on that. Couldn't get that payoff from those Niduses. You know, nice try though. Nice try.
Yeah.
Yep. And I want to say he even got like an early layer, like. Unless I'm getting my games confused, but an early layer to get, you know, baneling speed, you know, but
Well, I mean, I think the plan there was to into Nidus play like from the start, because he never pulled off his gas, which is a super standard kind of move where you want to just like give yourself a max boom so that you can get up into your third, get like saturated, speeds online, so your Ling queens can kind of zone out Hellion harass. But I think he just didn't end up doing that. He stayed on the. He had a talent which made him super vulnerable to that Hellion attack, and then from there it's just like rough. Once you're down in versus Terran, then like they get all of their orbital commands online, and they're just dropping kills and way eclipsing you in terms of it. All right, but that was a GG. Well played.
yeah, it certainly was a close game. Garrett
Was that 2-0, 2-1?
That was 2-0.
Yeah.
And yes, you know, that's sort of the feeling of StarCraft sometimes where you're just like, man, like at the end of a game, you know, you've just been pushing your APM, pushing your multitasking so much, and you know, it just kind of barely slips away from you at the end.
Yeah, I think we've all been there. You get to 5 minutes in, like, why are my links so slow?
Yeah.
Back at your point, it's a sad moment.
Yeah. So we're gonna get our next game going on here in just a second. Prime Mind up against our man Pastry. I think we need to leave this party. I'm gonna leave the party.
Yeah. All right, so now we got Pastry versus Prime Mind match.
Yeah, it should be a good time. Looking forward to this. Pastry was saying that he'd be playing some Zerg, but we'll see here. Prime Mind is going to have to do the double rollback of winning a BO3 into a BO3.
All right. Just sending messages to players, letting them know. Okay. Okay, Pastry's just waiting.
No worries.
I would understand if Prime Mind's probably taking a bio break.
Yeah. A lot of gaming going on.
Yeah, Lordy. Yeah, we've been going 7.
Yeah.
But after, it's a good chunk of StarCraft.
Oh yeah.
But I really love playing this with this group. It's a nice group of people. Everyone's like super nice, just like some players. It's always good games.
Yeah, definitely. People are real chill. Good vibe down at Outrage. Certainly unfortunate that they're closed at the moment, but
at the same time, then at the same time, that's what we can do to help out with society. Just kind of staying at home, kind of appropriate.
Oh yeah. No, it's I'm really starting to get sick of it.
I've been tucked in at home.
Yep. I've been playing a ton of Kerbal Space Program. That's been good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Kills
I'm an
me.
astronaut. Yeah.
I've been playing some Dota Underlord, one of those auto battlers, and I'm just like, I'm wasting time.
For sure, that's the move.
It's pretty fun, but it's a bit of a waste of time.
Oh yeah. No, I've been playing some like mindless shooters too. Started playing Far Cry 5.
Ooh, wow.
Oh yeah, it's
okay,
good.
Okay, yeah.
I've been playing that with my roommate. We just got real stoned.
Oh, excellent. I didn't realize there was a co-op mode for that one.
Oh, it's great. You just play through the campaign
Excellent.
with another person there.
The Doom Eternal sounds pretty dope. I heard some good reviews of that.
Oh yeah, I've heard that's good. We've got Pastry flexing in chat on the cost of his
Right.
keyboard.
Custom keyboard. Not too subtle,
Yeah.
Only the finest of keycaps, right?
Exactly. Made from ivory.
Yeah. So, Everdream going to start us out here. Again, this is a newer one on the rotation, but also of the new maps seems like the most standard of those three. We're going to have Pastry in the top right on the Zerg as promised, and Prime Mine in the bottom left on the Terran, representing for humanity. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, we don't stand a chance at the, but
Yeah,
we're tenacious.
that Zerg plague is taken over for sure. Certainly popular in the Portland StarCraft scene. So Pastry's brother's a Protoss main, or he just plays whatever?
He's a Zerg main.
Zerg main figures.
Excellent GM Zerg player.
Yeah.
Really strong. I've never beaten him. I don't think I probably the next few years, so we'll see.
Yeah, 16 hatch goes down, nothing too early. That's kind of one of those ones that you can just stop a lot of cheese if you kind of just hatch just a little bit earlier.
Yeah, it's a good move on his part. Prime Mine tends to favor Reaper fast expand, so I think he's kind of preempting that. It's like the history. But yeah, standard 17, standard barracks with a scout. See a CC come soon.
Reaper coming out. Overlord doing a little tap of the wings to the SCV below.
Bravely carrying a single crystal,
Ooh.
ready for whatever comes next.
Punch to the face with it if need be.
Yeah, I think that would be great if SCVs holding a crystal get extra damage.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You cut somebody with that thing.
Shank a fool.
Yeah.
Yep, so pretty standard.
Prime Mine does have a SCV over on that third base location. Just keep an eye on if there's going to be anything that's real early over there. Reaper is heading that direction as well. Just to kind of tuck it, but it seems
Swarm forces
real
under
kind of
attack.
I think we just had Prime Mine.
Swarm forces under attack.
Oh, huh? Sorry?
I think we just had Prime Mine leave Discord. I'm not sure. So I just heard a little whoop, but
I think it was Garrett. Yeah, actually, it was
okay.
here deafened for a while.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it kind of holds off the beginning Reaper pressure. He's got an early layer going. Nice and early.
Oh wow, yeah, that's super. We're gonna see some weird approach one.
See
He's
if
throwing
Prime
down
Mine-
extra gas.
Yeah, Prime
Had
Mine
a schedule. So he sees this. I'm curious to see what his response. TVZ player, so I think he might. This is, to be honest, I don't really know.
Yeah, and Terran does have the double Hellion coming out, so I mean, if it is roaches, it's kind of called out. This is game 1 as well of our our grand finals with
Oh, this is interesting.
Pastry coming from the upper bracket. So Pastry holding on to a BO3 right now.
So this is interesting. He's held up. So he's trying to conserve gas. I think he's just going straight for a roach. He's got a really good how Prime likes to play, where it's like you probably see like the standard 2 Hellions, maybe into a BC, something like that. But he knows that he can kind of get away with heading straight to roaches. It's cutting a huge corner to do that.
Yeah, being able to go straight for roaches. He is getting the ling speed now, which can be helpful as well. You know, because you can send out a wave of roaches, and then your roaches are in front of the enemy base, and then you're like, oh, actually, I could probably just push and win if I had just a little bit more army. And then you got fast lings running across the map to help out. So that skill will kind of come in handy a little bit later. He's still trying to get his supply up, still trying to get those roaches across the map. Hellions are still like, oh, you sure you don't need those back at home? But he's just going to build more roaches, so he's trying to get forward with them right now. And there's really not too much here. Not like a siege tank or anything. He doesn't have the front walled off. So these 5 roaches able to just run out here. There is a Widow Mines at the top of the ramp. At the same time, this is just going to be so obnoxious to deal with.
Yeah. And I mean, this is the nice thing is that even just denying mining time at this stage in the game is so worth it.
And he's able to stand those 4 roaches on top of that supply depot. We'll see if he pops it up now just to be like, yeah. SCV's running out here. Roach is still on top of the SCV, or a supply depot. Turning one of them into a Ravager as well, or both of them into Ravagers. It's so obnoxious.
Yeah, making that Rav wall.
Other one's down. Trying to get... Whoa, what was that explosion?
Oh god, right now the Terran is on 0 income. He's fully pulled from his things. Pastry's gone up to 50. This is rough.
Real brutal stuff there, and a Spire has gone down, so Pastry says, okay, I know he's just going to freak out here. He is so mech heavy as well. He's going to run in this Overseer, just kind of scout things out. He'll see that armory, and it's not like, yeah, it's like the tech lab is just about to go down now, so it's not like there's a bunch of Thors out on the field, so if he can get some mutas out in short work, they could be really effective.
I think this is a great idea because the thing is, like, the muta's not necessarily making damage happen, but just limiting the mobility of your opponent is so important. Like keeping everything at home, forcing his cyclones to like stay there rather than popping hatcheries or whatever. So I think this is a great transition. He knows he's ahead at this point because he's already saturated on 3 base on the back of this roach push. So super interesting. He just kind of punished Prime Mind for not applying earlier pressure, and this just allows him to cut enough corners to like get up to this roach count with an early layer, early roach speed, way ahead of schedule. And I think this looks really good for him.
Yeah, he's got 4 mutas going right now. Did kind of end up getting supply blocked as he lost an Overseer somewhere. Liberator's coming in, but you know, you're just going to run into a couple mutas. Those Liberators are not going to get very good value. There's still some kind of Hellions out on the map, but also those as well. There's enough roaches out here that these Hellions shouldn't be able to find much. They're kind of just a distraction for these Liberators right now.
Yeah, I think this build is kind of tailor-made for Prime Mind, because normally, like when I've played against Pastry, he doesn't seem to cut too many corners. Like not getting ling speed, not getting like a healthy ling count, and like going into Banes. And like playing that like normal mid game, but he just sort of went straight for Roach, knowing what's going to be possible.
3 Liberators out here and a single Cyclone being built. 1 Cyclone on the ground, just like 2 Widow Mines out here. The Overlord Overseer coming in here, gonna corrupt the Starport. Those just cranking out Liberators.
Oh,
so,
that's disgusting. That's so rude.
And now it's just the one.
Supreme disrespect.
It's still just 2 Cyclones out here. He's gonna run the mutas away. I feel like he could have gotten a little bit more work there with those.
Yeah, but that's a great exchange for him in terms of like he took down 3 liberators for the cost of I think 1 muta. He also
Yeah.
managed to infect the starport, slowing down the production on what's already kind of like a lean production cycle. So I think we're gonna see supply just kind of strip away until he's maxed out, and then one big push that kind of overwhelms what's left over for the Terran.
Yeah, he's got Swarm House as well here building up. Again, it's just sort of like those Liberators are going to be kind of annoying. He's got enough mutas that he can deal with them, and he has rallied the mutas around. But also, if he does run them in from the top side, he's going to run into Widow Mines. Widow Mines are quite annoying.
Yeah, the Widow Mines are the one thing that sort of has potential to really shut down the mutas. If he gets caught into an A move into those, then he can really get in trouble.
I like this double Nidus network, though, where he's already got the one set up in the back, but I don't think he's going to use it for now. Just kind of keep the Terran only aware of this kind of closer one.
Yeah,
But
and this is really
out
demonstrative of Pastry's like just knowledge of the game, where he knows that roughly around this time, even just based on the damage, which changes the timing of everything, he knows that a third is on schedule. It has to come down at some point, or else the other player is losing, and so he's making the right decision to sort of back up and set it up to be ready for that third.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a great move.
I like just using a few of these Swarm Hosts to scout as well. And now he's sending in Zerglings in Roach in the front door. Zerglings already be able to run all the way in towards the natural, or sorry, the main base.
Huge run by, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna be able to get so much work here. The Roach is still just being super obnoxious.
Oh, and the SCPs aren't responding. If they were attack
no.
moved on this, they might have actually beat the small number of lings. But at this point, he's just going to get a full kill on that.
There are some Widow Mines at the Expo, but other than that, it really doesn't have a whole lot of defenses. So
yeah. Oh yeah, this is tough.
It's definitely going downhill fast, as you know the Widow Mines out here are going to get chipped away by the Swarm House Focus here. GG called out, Prime Mine taps out. Game 1 goes to Pastry. 1 game away from taking the tournament.
Yeah, that was a great play. I think he made the correct decision just based on his read of Prime Mine's play. He played he really cut a huge corner by not getting into speed at all, by not considering Banelings even. And I think he made the right call. He got into Roach, and then he had a tech idea for how he was gonna deal some damage.
And then
there we go.
Early lair, but was going to Roach Nidus, scouted it. You know, there's so much psychological games going on here, you know, because, you know, yeah, you can just be like, all right, you know, freak them out, make them think I'm like, you know, racing to some sort of tech or doing like Bane speed or something. But instead, you know, just have the flexibility of the early layer can really help out. Thanks again for joining us tonight. Been a lot of fun. OtterFamily usually is the admin of these tournaments. Appreciate the work you do on it.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, no, it's super fun. I love it. It's good. Otherwise, I'd just be at home playing StarCraft. It's way more fun to play with other people.
Yeah. And shout out to Outrage, of course.
Yeah, much love going out to them. I feel really bad for their workers right now, probably out of work. I hope they're able to get compensated for what's a really tough time for everybody right now.
Yeah, certainly extremely tough all across the food industry.
Oh, totally. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I've been super lucky in that I already work from home, but I know it's really rough for everybody.
Yeah. There's some people out there in Portland that are doing things like Mi Mero Mole, which is near ground control and not far from Outrage. And they have a van with a freezer in the back, so they're like running around delivering frozen tamales. I'm like, yeah, nice. There's some people doing stuff like that, you know. So there's still some ways to support the local restaurants, you know.
Yeah.
All right, in the top left, gonna be Pastry, your current leading player in this grand finals. Pastry is in the has been in the upper bracket, so he leads by a best of 3 series or holds it in his pocket. Might not need it though if he just wins this game.
And in the bottom right, we've got our buddy Prime Mind holding it up for the Terran folks. Doing a great job trying to offer some resistance.
Yeah. Do you think we might see something more crazy from him? Some desperation, some, bunker, cheese attempts, or more just standard?
I honestly, I expect him to just play standard. I think probably with Pastry playing with the early pool, I think he's expecting something like that. So I think John has the right idea. He's just playing standard. He's not getting too crazy. And he's just going to try and lean on his really good TVZ and see how it turns out.
Yeah, so early pool, as you mentioned, so nothing too crazy. I think last game, one of the issues that Prime Mind had was, like, he got really stuck on the Hellions, it seemed like, His past game, he was able to get some good harass with that, but up against Pastry, once those Hellions were out, he was kind of stuck in a bad tech, and it just, he didn't really switch into anything that was going to work out for him in the moment and for what he needed.
Yeah, exactly. It was a really smart idea for Pastry to just kind of cut that corner and get quickly into roaches, because there's a lot of things you lose to there. You lose to 2-on-1. Like if someone goes and does drop play, you're boned. You're out. Like you, it's just a build order loss. But he had the correct assessment of like how he was going to play, and I think he did the adequate scouting to figure it out. So yeah, I think he did a really good job of kind of playing into Prime Mind's favored playstyle.
And he does have Lings right outside the base as well. There was an SCV that's running around. The SCV is still running around.
Oh, I know this build. He's doing Ling Ravager all in. So
nice.
What's going to happen is we're going to see 3 roaches made, just 3, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then with those 3 Ravagers, with those 3 roaches, he's going to turn them all into Ravagers. Everything else is just going to be Speedlings from here on out. Or, he forgot Speed. Or he never intended to get it. I'm not sure. Maybe versus Terran, it's a better idea not to get it. Oh, don't let him see it. Don't let him see the roach. I think he saw the roach warren.
Yeah, it seems likely.
Yep, he saw the roach warren.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he saw it,
Yeah,
but
he
had
did.
vision of it. Okay.
I mean, it's still on his vision as a ghost,
I think Pastry might have whiffed this. I think this might be a mistake, actually. Because he's supposed to have speed by now.
Yeah, we'll see. He's still getting some work done with his Lings. And the question is, you think that he'd notice shortly here that he doesn't have speed, so that is the intent.
Or maybe it's a fake. Look, he went into droning.
Yeah.
There's nothing behind it. There's nothing behind it. He's going up to normal 3 base. He's baiting an overreaction because he knows. Oh, this is such mind games. This is really great play from Pastry.
Yeah, and he's still getting some work from it because this base still is like making an SCV, picked off another one there.
Yeah.
They're kind of locked down. He's got his 3rd base well underway here.
This is disgusting. This is so non-standard that it's just brilliant. It's a really good move.
Yeah.
It's a weird off timing that's exploiting, because right now, so on the ladder, like the meta is, there's a very common link strategy, which is just 3 Ravager push. And so what he's done is he's exploited that, where he makes it look like 3 Ravager Speedling all in, but he doesn't get speed. Instead, he just drones heavy behind it. And so it's just like, it's this confusing, weird limbo where he's going to overproduce units to compensate, and he's going to get caught out. Meanwhile, his economy is just incredible right now. Full 2 base saturation, headed into 3. Oh, that's gross. That's really gross.
Yeah, he's got 5 drones on that 3rd base already, taking both the gases on his natural.
Yeah.
His main base only has 1 gas, but yeah, 3 Hellions and a Reaper coming out. He just has a medium pack of lings here, but they don't have speed here, so really just the 2 queens going to be responsible for most of the defense here. This pack of units is heading out towards the 3rd base. Should be able to pick off some units here, get some decent work done here. Evo Chamber throwing down just to do some blocking, some tapping, and also the Reaper getting caught out. So works out pretty well for Pastry here.
Oh man, I'm really curious to, because the thing is, either this is brilliance or this is a mistake, and I'm very curious to hear from Pastry later. Is did you just forget your speed, or was this like a crazy double fake out play? Because I've used the Ravager all in on Prime Mind. He knows this build, like the standard one where you just get 3 Rav, bunch of speedlings, and then bust them.
Oh yeah.
So he knows that build, and his response is great. He's handled it in the past. So I'm wondering if he was trying to bait that over response, or if he just made a genuine mistake and forgot speed.
Yeah, it's a possibility, because if he had speedlings there and had them backed up, and I mean, he would have realized, I think, that he didn't have speedlings. But he probably would have been cranking them out and sent them in with those roaches, turn them into Ravagers earlier, because he certainly had a good opportunity to push there. We do have a strong drop coming across the map here.
Yeah, but it was a great scout by Pastry. He's definitely made eye contact with those medevacs.
Yeah, he's got 12 more lings coming out. He doesn't necessarily have a ton of units out on the map. Stim is ready. Combat shields gonna be ready soonish. Scan out as well. Sees these 2 queens forward. Getting the creep tuners as well. And Ling's coming out here. No Banes yet. It's a pretty good surround on these Marines, but the Marines staying healthy, getting work done. They take out 1 queen, 3 queens over here, ready to come in here. No Ling's ready, but 16 about the pop. He's chasing in here, gets an Overlord here. Pastry kind of going to be limited on supply here. Medevacs thinking about running away, but they're also thinking about staying with these Marines. Marines are doing okay. Still staying alive here. Has to pull them back a bit. And now, yeah, 1 Medevac down. Other Marines, 4 Marines, going to be able to escape from there. So, not bad results from that.
Yeah, that was. He really needed to get something like that done. Pastry did a great job where he did not pull his drones from the line. He just did a little micro maneuver where you sort of consolidate your drones to the top, and then it takes them a little bit longer to like actually spread back out. So it redistributed them towards the top, forcing either medevacs to engage the spore, or to prevent the drone losses. So he managed to get away pretty unscathed, despite that being kind of scary for a little bit.
Yeah, Pastry also might have made a strategical mistake in between the 2 games, which is telling your opponent, oh man, that 1 unit you built really annoyed the hell out of me. Because there's certainly at least the 1 Liberator on the board, and if you can find some more, work with some other Liberators. I mean, these units are super annoying.
Yeah, we got 3 Liberators coming out. It's always a great idea, because the thing is, like, even if they don't get damage, what they do is they force a division of your attention, which allows you to do things like get your 3rd online, which he really wants to do right now. So hopefully he can get something done here.
Yeah, and our Terran's trying to get up to level 2 weapons and armor. And if he can do so,
this is awesome.
2 Liberators.
Killing
Takes out
both
both queens.
Huge. Oh, that's amazing.
That Spore Colony is actually standing on its legs. So it wasn't set up for a little bit there. The Liberators now eating damage from it. Be able to reposition here though. Spore Colony's got to follow it. Queen's moving in as well.
Oh, he might just get a free queen, no? Well, that's great. I think that's a great idea. He needs to keep him on that side of the map, keep him occupied, so that he can get his macro online.
Liberator going up to the top side. It's spotted out though.
I like this this move here.
Oh,
it's kind
nice.
of gross.
Yeah, a little bit of
just peeing on there, so that you might send your SCV to go build that blind, and then you look back at it a minute later and you're like, wait, where's my CC? It generates these nice little moments where it's just extra macro that it costs very little to put the Overlord there, but it like takes so much effort just to deal with it. Just great.
That was one thing I just noticed there that I hadn't necessarily seen before, but Liberator sniping that larva. One shot at larva. Kind of funny, but he's got 4 healthy bases rolling. I don't think he's too concerned about his larva supply. Prime Mine is trying to get another drop into position here. Actually, he's got 2 drops going simultaneously.
Yeah, that's smart. He needs to divide and conquer here. He's probably gonna get a queen with the bottom drop. But I mean, what he has in the center of the map honestly might just kind of end this this third base.
Yeah,
And we've got Widow Mines in a good spot, Tanks in a good spot. He's set up pretty good for this. I think Pastry's more likely to just divide and kind of deal with these attacks individually.
yeah. Pastry's got a fair amount of Zerglings up top that can deal with that top drop. Bottom drop getting kind of dealt with as well. One medevac now going to be returning home empty.
Yeah.
Push
Good
across the map,
pulls on
kind of
his
similar
part.
situation as well. He's going up top though, trying to elevator this a little bit, but also just kind of trying to snipe overlords with it.
No, he's got the right idea, and I'm curious at what point Pastry figures it out. That what's really happening here is Prime Man knows he's behind, and he's trying to figure something out.
Yeah. It's pretty good at elevatoring, obnoxious stuff, but he does have some Zerglings on patrol on the high ground there.
It's a good move.
And we have a little bit more of siege tanks at home for our Terran here, but yeah, that's kind of a fourth command center that's just sitting there. I don't know if he wants
But you
to
know,
send in
Prime Man's doing a great
fortress or
job hanging
something.
in this. He's still on 60 Harvesters versus 65. He's really close. Once all of his mule drops get online and he gets a few more CCs, that's going to shoot up for him. So he's not out of this game yet. On even supply, this is good for Terran.
He's got an armory going now. He definitely is a bit more bio barracks heavy, but he does have a couple factories here that he could start cranking Thors out of.
Mm-hmm.
Still on siege tank, but either way, getting those upgrades for your weapon is pretty crucial.
Okay. The issue here, okay, so I was wondering what's the differential in the income and the Harvesters. It's just that he's way oversaturated on his natural. He's 19 over 10 at the moment. So that explains it.
Yeah.
But he just got his fourth down. I think that he's going to start to be able to equalize income, which is great.
Trying to have a pretty big engagement in the mid section here. And it's
He's
going
set up
pretty
great
decent
for it.
Prime Mind. Yeah, he's pushing forward with those Swarm Marines. I feel like there's maybe not enough Banes here, but look at the ones that are here. Oh, they just clean up all those Marines. This is going to be rough. Hydra's taking care of those medevacs. You can almost just feel the defeat from Prime Mind settling in as he loses that Swarm. There's also Zerglings across the map. Pick up a siege tank here.
Oh,
And
that's so rough. He got caught out.
yeah, there was just the perfect amount of Banelings there. And now Pastry's army just kind of splits up. The Zerglings running around and say, okay, well, let's make sure that we're not missing anything. There's one Liberator going across the map, and then there's just a swarm of bio that's kind of shifting between these bases. Feeling helpless right now as this really fourth base that's... yeah, Zerglings running in. They find enough units here. Oh, and there's enough Zerglings. They're going to be able to do some work on the Expo. Things are really dire here for Prime Mind. Just bleeding units and losses all over the place here.
Yeah, watching his camera, you can see him just sort of realizing in series all of the things that are really going wrong right now.
Yeah. And the Liberator harass, did pull a significant army back. And Pastry, I wonder if he's just kind of watching that Liberator. Okay, yeah, no, there was a Spore colony underneath, but the Liberator was just kind of chipping away at his base there. And
Yeah, it was honestly just that engagement there that was it.
Yeah.
Because they were even supply, even income, or close to even on income. Like he was doing really good, and I think he might have been looking away for a second or something, but there was no splits there. The Banes got just maximum damage.
Yeah. I thought that was the 2-2 when I saw it earlier. It looks like he's just getting the level 2 weapons for the Marines here.
Yeah.
And starting
I think
level
Pastry
4.
not quite realizing how far ahead he is, because he's really not looking to close it out. But honestly, that's probably the best idea. Just tech up, get some energy on your Vipers so that you can start stealing those expensive units like the tanks, blinding, clouding the groups of infantry, and just getting like really good exchanges. So I think he's going to find a lot of value here.
Yeah, he's going to lose that fit, which is unfortunate. But yeah, look at these blinding clouds on the siege tanks. Huge just Bane rolls in here. Still a decent amount of Marines in here, but they're just running away. They have no siege tanks to support them. They have no medevacs to help them get out of here. And it's just Hydras and Lings running across the map. Prime Mind down to 54 supply, yeah.
I think we're likely to hear GG called pretty soon.
Yeah.
question is yeah, does he know how boned he is, or how stubborn does he want to be in staying in this tournament? He does have a drop that's ready to get out here. I mean, if he can create some outward pressure, you know, mules do help Terran stay in the game, but it is just very little, very late.
Yeah, and also just watching Pastry's cam, he's just setting up his 6th base, and he's already started mining before the hatch is finished, just making sure that he doesn't have to micro setting that up. And yeah, the supply is just going to strip away at this point. He might end up going into something like Broodlords to try and like make sure that it's a sure thing, his victory. But
yeah, he has an Ultra
but he's
Cavern
looking
down, at least for now, which will start things off. And he has a few Corruptors, which, you know, then you can also just get that Greater Spire, just again as an insurance policy. I think he ran in some Lings, maybe just ran him into a Widow Mine or something, ran him into the base, so he's backed up, but he has a humongous army
big bust coming right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Back down to 25 workers. And that's rough. Yeah, he's maxed on supply.
That's mean.
Yeah, this is a little mean.
This is fucking rude.
Yeah, Pastry is keeping him alive. It's like a breakfast meal, you know.
Oh yeah, Chris was pointing out in the chat he's got like a huge upgrade advantage too. He's on the 3-3 versus oh well no, the Terran's actually getting up to 3-3 or 3-2 himself, so that's good. Prime's great at like staying on top of those sorts of things. He's really an excellent player, like plays awesome macro. It's just I think he just got caught out so hard there in the center. He got such a bad engagement that he's gonna be in trouble for the rest of the game.
Yeah, for sure. And Pastry's basically on A move right now. Army number is dwindling. GG called, and he is out of here. Pastry is our winner of this tournament. OutragePDX StarCraft tournament for March 21st. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Certainly congratulations to Pastries. Just pretty dominant play tonight, but good games from other players throughout. Prime Mind put up a good fight, you know, throughout in this series, and obviously taking out Garrett, who came in 3rd place. Good plays by Christine. Good plays by OtterFamily. It was a lot of fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
You got any final thoughts you want to throw out there?
No, just thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Yeah. If you're watching the tournament, and thanks so much for coming out and playing. That was super fun. I had a great time. Everybody, I'm sure everyone here who played had an awesome time. And thank you so much for casting, dude. That was great of you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I hope everybody enjoys the VODs, watching it again if they were too busy playing. Certainly I enjoyed casting. Great games. Thanks again for organizing OtterFamily. Again,
yeah, for sure, man.
Huge shout out to OutragePDX. Closed right now, but please support them in the future. And shout out to all the players, and shout out to all the viewers. Thanks so much for viewing tonight, guys. We're coming up on 4 hours, so it is time to get out of here. I'm eXtine. Thanks so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you guys next time. Peace out. Yeah, we out of here.